Chapter 5069. It turned out that with the guidance of Pill Valley, the Bailong family came to a wide place, and here, thousands of dragons' nests hang above the void, and the scene is extremely spectacular. When Bai Yingxian saw so many 10,000 dragons' nest, she was shocked, and there was a deep worry in her eyes. 1,037 10,000 dragons' nests, here, no matter how many 10,000 dragon nests any dragon clan brings, in the end, only one can stay here. Bai Yingxian looked at the 10,000 dragons' nest, her voice a little sad. Long Chen understands what she means, that is to say, more than 1,000 dragons have fallen to Brahma Pill Valley, and each 10,000 dragon nests represent a dragon of different blood. How many races does the dragon clan currently have? Long Chen asked. There are more than 3,000 pureblood dragons in the Emperor's Day. Bai Yingxian sighed. Long Chen was shocked, that is to say, 1/3 of the dragons have already fallen to the Brahma Pill Valley. Although they are only for the benefit, they may not completely surrender to the Brahma Pill Valley, but this is definitely not a good sign. No wonder Bai Yingxian is so worried. Haha, who am I here? Isn't this my great white dragon clan? When the Wanlong nest of the white dragon clan just arrived, a strong man laughed loudly, and the laughter was full of ridicule meaning. At the beginning, the white dragon clan, who scold us for being shameless, spineless, aloof, and bossy towards others, would join us one day. TSK, it's really interesting. How aloof and arrogant the Bailong family is. How arrogant, I read it right, they actually came. Ouch, everyone, why don't you come out and meet? The most loyal supporter of the Chaos Dragon Emperor has come here like us, hee, what an honor this is. For a while, voices appeared one after another in the surrounding Wanlong's nest, all of which were ridiculing, with a face that was thrown into trouble. Bai Yingxian's face was gloomy, and murderous intent surged in her eyes. Obviously, these people's words tore open her most painful scar. Bai Yingxian wanted to use the blood and life of the White Dragon Clan to defend the dignity of the Dragon Clan, but in fact, she wanted to save them, but these people kept taunting her and provoking her, which made her unable to hold back. Long Chen smiled slightly and said, "Do you still expect to use the life of the White Dragon family to wake them up?" Bai Yingxian really understood what Long Chen meant at this time. The Dragon Clan has already decayed, and many Dragon Clans have already lost the backbone of the Dragon Clan. The arrogant dragon race never disdains to humiliate others in this way, only those lower races do this. In Long Chen's words, at this time, it is the time for the dragon race to scrape the bones to heal the poison. Those rotten flesh and bones have no chance to come back to life. They must be wiped away before it is possible to save the dragon race. Kindness and hesitation will only be broken. Devent. Long Chen winked at Bai Yingxue. Bai Yingxue immediately understood Long Chen's meaning and directly opened the barrier, isolating the sound and pictures outside, so that he could not be bothered by seeing him. Since she doesn't have the ability to bear the ridicule of others, she should just ignore it and not listen to it. Bai Yingxian gradually calmed down when there was no sound, and she said with a wry smile, "It seems that my realm is still too far behind." Long Chen shook his head and said, "Whatever is not in the realm is nonsense. Even if a saint is walking on the street, he has to take a detour when encountering a shrew. There are many truths in this world that cannot be understood. Everyone looks at the problem from a different angle, which will cause a huge cognitive bias. You look at the problem from the perspective of the future development of the entire dragon family. But what they were thinking about was how to seize the opportunity in front of them, improve themselves quickly, and use the outlet of Brahma Pill Valley to let themselves fly. As for whether they will eventually fall to their death due to lack of support after flying, they cannot see that far. When the dog is eating shit, you must not persuade it, it will bark with you or even bite you because it thinks you are going to grab it." Long Chen's words made Bai Yingxue and Bai Yingxian laugh. Long Chen's description is a bit vulgar, but it is very close to reality, and the metaphor is just right, not an exaggeration at all. Bai Yingxian smiled and said, "Your human race is really interesting. My dragon race just doesn't have the talent for humor in this regard." Bai Yingxian found that there was an indescribable charm about this young man, and that charm could make people trust him unconditionally. Moreover, No matter how difficult the problem is, when it comes to him, there is always a way to solve it, as if there is nothing in this world that he cannot solve. Bai Yingxian smiled and said, "Why don't you come to our White Dragon clan? I beg the Patriarch to give you the title of Deputy Patriarch. You don't need your help, you just need to help us occasionally." "You're welcome. No, as long as the Bai Long family has something to do, you can talk." Long Chen patted his chest and said, "I don't know if he likes the White Dragon clan, or is influenced by the power of dragon blood, and feels very kind to the White Dragon clan. If something happens to the White Dragon clan, he will never sit idly by. Therefore, he strongly opposed the original plan of the White Dragon family. For Long Chen, this tactic was simply not enough IQ, and he took his life to make it up. It seems that there is God's will in the dark. If there is no Long Chen, this group of people will go to extremes. In the end, I am afraid that there will be a small wave, and there will be no trace in the end." And when Long Chen was worried about how to get in, the White Dragon family appeared so coincidentally, it can be said that they complement each other. Bai Yingxian finally chose to listen to Long Chen. She didn't see anyone, and allowed countless people outside to ask to see her. She excused herself from retreating, and only Bai Yingxue came out to deal with it occasionally. Although there were many people mocking her, few dared to provoke her. Obviously, Bai Yingxuan's strength was very famous in the entire Dragon clan. Just as Long Chen was about to retreat, news came from Brahma Pill Valley and sent invitations. There were 10 invitations in total. With the invitations, you could participate in the auction in Hantian City for free. When receiving the invitation, Bai Yingxian directly refused to participate. In her words, there must be many routines for the things that were given away for free. She couldn't handle it, so she simply didn't go. I also don't plan to let other people participate. After all, they are not here to please the Brahma Pill Valley. Don't get tangled up and it will be troublesome. However, Long Chen is very excited. Now that there are countless strengths in Hantian City, there will definitely be large-scale gatherings for everyone to trade with each other. This opportunity cannot be missed. When Long Chen said what he meant, Bai Yingxian naturally wouldn't stop it, but Bai Yingxi's face was full of hope. Even an idiot could see that Bai Yingxian had to let Bai Yingxue accompany Long Chen. As for the other 8 invitations, they were directly rejected. She was broken. Long Chen and Bai Yingxue happily walked out of Wanlong's nest, and suddenly countless eyes looked at them, and a group of people came up and blocked their way. Chapter 50-70 Long Chen frowned. What is the situation? Is this to directly suppress the White Dragon clan? If this is the case, Long Chen's fist is secretly clenched, which is too bullying. If someone provokes him, he will definitely not be used to him. However, what Long Chen didn't expect was that this group of dragon powerhouses did not provoke Long Chen, but looked at Bai Yingxue. His Royal Highness Yingxue, I have long admired your name. I am a son of destiny of the Dragon clan. Hurriedly introduced himself, and Bai Yingxue's jade hand suddenly grabbed Long Chen's arm and shook his head. Sorry, I already have a partner. Long Chen was stunned. What does this mean? Is this group of people here to pursue Bai Yingxue? Long Chen was used as a shield. Take me away quickly, this group of people is very annoying. Bai Yingxue said to Long Chen. Long Chen didn't understand what was going on, but Bai Yingxue asked for help, and Long Chen naturally wouldn't refuse, so he just walked forward. Who are you, and what qualifications do you have to win the favor of Her Royal Highness? I want to duel with you. Seeing Bai Yingxue holding Long Chen's arm affectionately, the son of destiny of the Dragon clan was furious. Roll snapped. Long Chen was really not used to him, slapped him in the face, and with a loud bang, the son of destiny of the Dragon clan was slapped by Long Chen, rolled out all the way, and slammed into a Wanlong nest. Boom! With a loud bang, the son of destiny of the Dragon clan spurted out a mouthful of blood, and then passed out like that. His body slid along the Wanlong nest and fell to the ground. Long Chen slapped the man away, and the powerhouses present were stunned. Many people didn't understand what was going on, and the man flew out. Carrying a punch, Long Chen and Bai Yingxue passed through the crowd like that, and the others were frightened by Long Chen's momentum and instinctively gave way, watching the figures of Long Chen and Bai Yingxue disappear. After passing through the crowd, Bai Yingxue released Long Chen's arm. Her pretty face was slightly red. She said awkwardly, "Our White Dragon clan is a sacred dragon, and sacred power is an indispensable power among the Dragon clan's strongest magical powers. The Dragon clan just now had a good relationship with our White Dragon clan, and they also had a history of intermarriage with our White Dragon clan. Later, they took refuge in the Brahma Pill Valley, and the White Dragon clan cut off contact with them, and now that we are here, they thought we also took refuge in the Brahma Pill Valley, so." Long Chen suddenly understood that this group of dragons thought that the White Dragons had finally figured it out, so they wanted to take the opportunity to get close to the White Dragons. Although our White Dragon family can't help but get married, how could the great daughter of the White Dragon family marry a group of guys without bones? Bai Yingxue shook her head. Long Chen nodded to show his understanding. In fact, in the cultivation world, most marriages actually come with a purpose, and the biggest purpose is to breed offspring. At the beginning, Long Chen was very incomprehensible and disgusted with Long Tianrui's behavior. Now it seems that this concept has long been ingrained in these ancient races. Perhaps in their eyes, there is no word love at all. But the two of them walked all the way forward, and all of them were strong dragons on the road. When they passed by, many people pointed at them behind their backs, talked softly, and even laughed arrogantly. While the two were walking, they met a son of destiny of the Dragon clan. After seeing the identities of the two, the man whistled and said to Bai Yingxue, "Hey!" Boom, Long Chen kicked the man in the middle of the crotch, and the sour bone-cracking sound came. The Son of Heaven was kicked by Long Chen, followed by a scream like a pig, resounding in the sky. You Dragon clan should really be rectified. All these idiots should be cleaned up. The Dragon clan is almost the same, and you can return to its heyday. Long Chen resisted the urge to kill and said to Bai Yingxue. Just now he wanted to slap this idiot to death, because this guy's arrogant appearance is really too bad to beat. If you don't kill him, I feel sorry for him. However, instead of using his hands, Long Chen used his feet. He felt that it would be easy to expose the habit of slapping the face in the future. Stop. The man also had companions. Seeing that he was severely injured by Long Chen, he rushed over with a few companions. Long Chen suddenly turned his head, and his eyes were filled with murderous intent. Those powerhouses, looking at Long Chen's almost cannibalistic eyes, were suddenly frightened and stopped suddenly, not daring to move, because from Long Chen's body, they felt the breath of death. Long Chen's eyes frightened the few people, snorted coldly, and walked out with Bai Yingxue. Fortunately, those boys knew each other. If they rushed forward, Long Chen would kill them without hesitation. I don't know why, when Long Chen saw their appearance, he had an urge to crush them. You know, Long Chen has never had such emotions before. Is it really because of the Emperor's blood? Long Chen suddenly woke up. It should be the blood of the Emperor that affected his emotions. The blood of the Emperor is the blood of the commander Wanlong. Now that the Dragon family has not been completed in this way, the Emperor's blood is angry, which affects Long Chen's emotions. Otherwise, that person did not provoke Long Chen very much, and Long Chen would not be so angry. When he walked out of the Dragon race area, a majestic ancient city appeared in front of Long Chen. When he saw this ancient city, although he was well prepared, Long Chen was still full of shock. This ancient city is even bigger than the demon city that Long Chen saw. They are very far away from Hantian City, but they can still feel the shock it brings. This should be an ancient city, and it is a very old one, definitely not built in modern times. Long Chen sighed. Why do you see it? I think it's very new, with no trace of time. Bai Yingxue said. Look at the city wall, it's a defensive wall. Long Chen said. Isn't this normal? Bai Yingxue was puzzled. To build such a big city, the most terrifying consumption is the city wall. With the strength of the Brahma Pill Valley today, it is hard to build such a strong city wall to waterproof? Long Chen asked. Only then did Bai Yingxue realize that Brahma Pill Valley is almost invincible in Emperor Tian, only he bullied others, no one dared to attack them, and never heard of anyone attacking the 8 Brahma domains. In addition to the area where the Dragon clan is located, Long Chen saw that there are countless areas around the Hantian city. Obviously, the forces invited by the Brahma Pill Valley this time are too many, and the Dragon Clan is only a part of it. Is this guy Mon Yen coming in? Why is there no news at all? Long Chen was a little worried. He was afraid that this guy would not get in. Let's go to Hantian City and take a look. But it was useless to worry now. Long Chen took Bai Yingxue and set foot on the teleportation formation, and the figures of the two disappeared in an instant. Chapter 5071, Buzz. When Long Chen and Bai Yingxue walked out of the teleportation array, there were black heads in front of them. The huge teleportation array was crowded with people, and the eyes of those who looked at it were dizzying. Let's give, don't just watch, get moving. Someone kept shouting loudly. Because many people came here, when they saw the situation here, they were shocked, and they forgot to move forward, which caused many people to be stuck in the teleportation array and couldn't get out, screaming in a hurry behind. Long Chen and the two moved forward with the flow of people, and after walking for a long time, the talents began to become a little sparser, but fortunately, the status of the Dragon Powerhouse is still very high here, and many people will deliberately keep a certain distance with them, so as not to offend them. Bai Yingxue is from the Bailong clan, and the Bailong clan is relatively mild-tempered, not as violent and belligerent as other dragon clans, but the strong foreigners can't distinguish the types of dragon clan. And some races don't have the advantage of the dragon race. Long Chen saw with his own eyes that a wretched guy sneaked a woman's but while walking through the crowd. A slap in the face. The guy seemed to have been used to it for a long time, and he continued to move forward without saying a word. It didn't take long for him to scream, his nostrils bleed, and the whole person was bloody. Long Chen saw this scene and almost didn't laugh. What's wrong? Bai Yingxue looked at the man, and then looked at Long Chen's speechless face, and couldn't help asking. This guy's hands and feet are not clean. Long Chen said, I know, I saw it just now, but why was it suddenly beaten like this? Bai Yingxue said, because I was blind, I made a mistake, I touched a man, and then. Long Chen spread his hands, puff, Bai Yingxue couldn't help it, and burst out laughing. That guy is really stupid. Walking in the crowd, Long Chen found that it was too lively here. He saw all kinds of creatures. Many creatures could only be seen in ancient books, and some creatures were not even recorded in ancient books. Even with Long Chen's knowledge coming here, there is a feeling of a country bumpkin entering the city, and everything is fresh. Suddenly, when a group of people wearing bamboo hats passed by not far in front of Long Chen was shocked, and this figure made Long Chen feel a little familiar. However, there are too many people here, the figure disappeared in a flash, and he disappeared when he went to look for it. Here, Long Chen couldn't expand his consciousness to search, and could only watch him disappear. What? Bai Yingxin asked. The back of that person is a little familiar. Long Chen said. Suddenly Long Chen's heart moved, and a figure suddenly appeared in Long Chen's mind. He also wore a hat and did not show his face, but provided him with information about the life-hunting family, and finally Long Chen destroyed their old nest. It must be him. Long Chen didn't expect to see him here, but at this time the man's clothes were different from before, and there seemed to be a mask under the hat. Weight mask? Chess master? Long Chen suddenly remembered that the aura of this person was very similar to the chess sect disciple he killed, and at the same time Long Chen remembered that he used the amethyst sky pupil to watch the conversation between the chess sect old man and the rear temple powerhouse. Long Chen suddenly understood that Qizong was really here. The disciples of the chess sect are good at layout. At the beginning, they led me to kill the powerhouses of the life-hunting clan. I don't know if it was to kill with a knife, or there were other conspiracies that I had to guard against. Long Chen said. Last time, Long Chen and Mon Yen in Fumo City were tricked by the disciples of the chess sect, and suffered a big loss. Xing Wujiang's death also had their share. Chess is right, I will come to meet you. A gloomy smile appeared on Long Chen's face. Underworld. Suddenly, Long Chen saw a group of people. They were surrounded by ghosts. They were the ghosts from the underworld, and they appeared here in a grand manner. And the most incredible thing for Long Chen is that not only the Ming clan appeared, but also the Yu clan. What shocked Long Chen the most was that these two races were already on the same page, but here, they saw each other, but ignore the other side. Long Chen's heart was trembling, de Brahma's hands and eyes were open to the sky, and all the worlds and races were captured by him. What did he want to do? He clearly has such a terrifying influence. Why not attack the demons outside the realm, regain the lost ground, and take back the Emperor Heaven? Wouldn't that be more in line with the development interests of Brahma Pill Valley? At that time, Brahma Pill Valley was the Lord of the 9 heavens. What do they want in Brahma Pill Valley? Long Chen's heart is sinking, and the more he can't figure it out, the more terrifying the purpose of Brahma. Snapped, suddenly, a crisp slap sounded in front of him, awakening Long Chen from his contemplation. When Long Chen looked at the sound and saw a figure, he couldn't help shaking his body. Long Chen saw a woman who was half a head taller than a normal man, but still beautiful, with golden hair and a capable ponytail, like golden threads falling. You know her? Bai Shui asked. Long Chen nodded, and then walked over there. Long Chen did not expect to meet Feng Yu here, but what Long Chen did not expect was that it was her who was slapped in the face. At this time, Feng Yu's face was extremely ugly. She covered her face with one hand, anger flashed in her eyes, but she was trying her best to restrain her. In front of her, there was a graceful woman with 2 cat ears, a son of destiny. She pointed at Feng Yu and said coldly, "How many times have I said it in the beast-melting alliance? You are not qualified to contradict me. No matter what I say is right or wrong, you can only answer, you know?" The Catwoman had a proud face, and the corners of her mouth were raised. At first glance, she was the kind of person who was extremely difficult to get along with. Beside her, there were also a group of strong people from the Fusion Beast clan, and they were all women. They were looking at Feng Yu with a smile. Without any pity, as if they were very happy to see Feng Yu's appearance. Feng Yu was beaten, and immediately attracted countless people to watch, but seeing that they were all from the Rong Beast clan, no one said anything. After all, this is an internal matter. You guys are going too far. Obviously you can't stand it, you've been bullied by others, but you take your anger out on Sister Feng Yu. At this time, a woman next to Feng Yu finally couldn't help it and stood up and said loudly. The woman Long Chen knew, her name was Hu Xiaoyu. She had Linghu blood, was Feng Yu's good sister, and was one of the most powerful women in the Rong Beast clan at that time except Feng Yu. "I want you to talk more." The Catwoman was furious, and suddenly there was a leather whip in her hand, and she threw her head at the woman and slapped her face. The woman was shocked and angry, but did not dare to hide. She could only let the whip hit her, but a tall figure stood in front of the woman. Snapped, the long whip slammed heavily on Feng Yu's back, and the blood immediately wet the clothes. At that moment, Long Chen's fist clenched tightly. Chapter 5072 Feng Yu stepped forward and blocked the whip for Hu Xiaoyu. Hu Xiaoyu suddenly exclaimed. She looked at the blood stained on her hands, her eyes were instantly blood red. That was the violent performance of the Linghu clan. Feng Yu's injury made her furious, but Feng Yu hugged her tightly and prevented her from taking action. Forbearance, resistance will not solve the problem, it will only make the future of our family even more difficult. Feng Yu's voice was a little interfering. It's not that she didn't want to resist, but she couldn't resist. She was not alone, but came with hundreds of thousands of brothers and sisters. People were under the low eaves and had to bow their heads. She always remembered the old patriarch's entrustment to take good care of them. "Elder sister?" Hu Xiaoyu cried out in grievance. "Why is this happening? If we knew this earlier, we might as well." "Don't say it." Feng Yu's face changed greatly, and she hurriedly stopped. She knew what Hu Xiaoyu wanted to say, but that name is a huge taboo here. "Two little sluts, are you still thinking about that short-lived ghost? If you weren't implicated in that short-lived ghost, how could our Fusion Beast clan be left out in the cold?" The Catwoman scolded angrily. Short-lived ghost? Long Chen's heart moved, and he suddenly understood that the short-lived ghost was talking about him. Long Chen once inquired about the Rong Beast clan with the Yuling clan, and when they mentioned the Rong Beast clan, the Yuling clan sneered. saying that they were the dogs of the Brahma Pill Valley, and they were the lowest kind of dogs. Once Brahma Pill Valley moves, they will be the pawns, and even other pill valleys don't like to pay attention to them, because the roan beast family belongs to the kind of unpopular race in Emperor Heaven, and Brahma Pill Valley doesn't look down on them at all. It's just that this dog is obedient, so it will occasionally give them a little benefit. In this way, the roan beast clan will be even more determined to Brahma Pill Valley. It's just that the roan beast clan is too enthusiastic, but their IQ is limited. They often flatter the horse's hoof. Therefore, for the roan beast clan, Brahma Pill Valley is also lukewarm. When the roan beast clan took over Feng Yu and others, they had a very unpleasant quarrel with Lingshao Academy. At that time, the roan beast clan did not know the grievance between Lingshao Academy and Brahma Pill Valley. When they found out later, they panicked and they wanted to strangle Feng Yu to death, so they immediately contacted Brahma Pill Valley. There was a strong man from Brahma Pill Valley, and they interrogated Feng Yu immediately. At the same time, they also searched Feng Yu and the backbone of their group. As a result, they did not get any valuable news and left. Since then, Brahma Pill Valley has not contacted the Beast Melting Alliance very much. In fact, people have rarely contacted them. However, as the most loyal dogs in Brahma Pill Valley, they suddenly became concerned about gain and loss, and at the same time, they became extremely indifferent to people from Feng Yu's lineage and even allowed the local disciples to bully them. Fortunately, after Feng Yu came here, she recognized a master. That master treated her very well and took great care of her. However, his master was only a heavenly saint and his status was not too high, so he couldn't protect her completely. Later, after going through the baptism of the secret realm, Feng Yu, under extreme mental pressure, actually only grew into a half-step son of destiny, which made the roan beast clan even more disappointed by the high-level officials who were optimistic about her, and then simply gave up on cultivating her. Not being able to awaken the son of destiny in the divine venerable realm means that it will be tens of thousands of times harder to awaken the son of destiny in the future, and there is almost no hope. As a result, Feng Yu's situation became even more difficult, and among the powerhouses who came with her, none of them could awaken the son of destiny, and only 6 of them advanced half a step of destiny. This made the roan beast clan think that they should not have been taken in the first place. With so many people, there is no one son of destiny, and the roan beast clan suffered a big loss by raising them in vain. Originally, these outsiders would be discriminated against by the local powerhouses, but now, they are treated as human beings, and Feng Yu has become their punching bag, and they will scold a few words if they have nothing to do. Just now, they entered Hantian City together. Because Catwoman was squeezed by someone, she was angry and scolded someone, but after she finished scolding, they found that it was a force they couldn't afford to offend, and hurriedly apologized to them. When people told her that she was insane, they didn't pay any attention to her, and when she made a fool of herself, the more she thought about it, the more angry she became, and she deliberately provoked Feng Yu for a few words. Although Long Chen didn't know the specific situation of Feng Yu in the roan beast clan, he could guess a 7 or 8 out of 10 after a little observation. "Why are you crying? Are you mourning? Why don't you die? Don't be embarrassed here." Seeing that Hu Xiaoyu was still crying, Catwoman was furious. "Aren't you going to take action?" Bai Yingxue asked when she couldn't stand it any longer. "I can't help her, this is the path she chose by herself, and she has to finish it with tears in her eyes. Even if she wants to turn back, she needs to turn her back on her own instead of me pulling her back." Long Chen shook his head. When Feng Yu left with people, that was her choice, and Long Chen respected her choice. At that time, Long Chen had a hunch that she would have a hard time in the roan beast clan, but Long Chen did not thinking of it. Feng Yu's life was more difficult than he imagined. In the past, her arrogance was the leader. When she entered the Emperor Heaven, she was full of high spirits and full of longing for the future. Now, her arrogance and sharpness will be thwarted, and Long Chen feels sorry for her. But as Long Chen said, the path she chooses has to be completed with tears in her eyes. Even if she looks back, she needs to choose her own way, not Long Chen to help her choose. This is impossible, no matter how high Long Chen's cultivation base is or how strong his strength is, he can't change other people's lives, and he can't change them. In this world, only himself can change his destiny, and the rest of the external forces can only help you. For a while, I can't help you forever. If Long Chen helped her this time, what about next time? If Long Chen doesn't help her, she will fall into that vortex. In life, some losses must be eaten, and some traps must be avoided. Feng Yu lived too peacefully in the Rong Beast clan. She experienced too little, so she couldn't see many things clearly. People always have to pay the price for their youth and ignorance before they really grow up. However, it is also a matter of probability to grow up. Some people fall into the trap, and then they are gone. Are you finished? The conflicts within your own clan will be resolved in the Hui clan. What kind of prestige are you running here? Don't look at Catwoman's viciousness towards Feng Yu and the others, but she doesn't dare to treat others. She snorted coldly and walked forward with everyone. Sister Feng Yu, are you okay? Why don't we go back? Hu Xiaoyu looked at Feng Yu and said, It's just a skin injury. I'm fine. I've come here. Let's go and have a look. He said that danger and opportunity coexist. No matter how bold a person is, the land can be so productive. I'm waiting for my chance. I'll catch them and I'll make them pay the price. Feng Yu gritted his teeth, looking in the direction where Catwoman and the others were leaving. After the two finished speaking, they walked towards the depths of Hantian City. Chapter 5073. Is she your friend? Bai Yingxue asked as she looked at Feng Yu's back. Long Chen nodded and said, It's still a very good one, and I have fought side by side. Actually, you can bring her to my Bai Long clan so that she doesn't have to be bullied. Bai Yingxue said. Long Chen looked at Bai Yingxue. The Bai Long family was kind, but unfortunately, they couldn't see very far, so she didn't understand Long Chen's behavior. Long Chen wants to explain, but he doesn't know how to explain it. Even if the explanation is clear, it doesn't make any sense. Any race has something that is constant in its bones. You can understand some things if you can understand them, otherwise it is useless to explain. If she wants to get out of the situation, it'll help her, but there's a limit to what I can do for her. At this time, she was like being trapped in a well. I couldn't pull her up. The only thing I could do was to throw her a rope. It's a pity that now she doesn't have such a strong desire to change the status quo, otherwise I can throw the rope to her now. Long Chen shook his head and sighed. Bai Yingxue obviously didn't understand what Long Chen said, and Long Chen didn't explain too much. He continued to walk side by side with Bai Yingxue, and soon a huge square appeared in front of him. Passing through the gate, Bai Yingxue exclaimed, and a vast divine aura rushed toward his face. If the holy power of the Sanmai Tianxing is a vast ocean, then this divine aura is as majestic as the universe, and it is the same as that aura. In comparison, the pressure of the Sanmai Tianxing was as small as a drop in the ocean. Even Long Chen was trembling in his heart. He had never encountered such a vast divine aura, which was so vast that it gave birth to a feeling of infinite insignificance. In front of that aura, anyone could only crawl on the ground. Looking up, two statues stand in the sky, and people in front of it are like ants. The two statues are surrounded by divine light, reflecting the universe. Countless creatures kneel on the ground and worship the gods. These creatures are from different races, but they are prostrate on the ground. Their kneeling postures are so standard, and their expressions are so pious. The two statues are De Brahma and Luo Tianyi. De Brahma holds a divine picture like a scholar holding a scroll, with a graceful expression, and in his eyes, there is a starry sky flickering, making people dare not look directly. Luo Tianyi held the pill furnace in his left hand, his right hand was sealed, his eyes were tightly closed, and a chilling air flowed between his brows. Looking at her, he was terrified and did not dare to feel a trace of blasphemy. The two statues are sacred and solemn. Even if they are not their believers, they have the heart to worship them. The strong, everyone worships, and the breath of the two of them is strong enough to make people surrender from the heart. The breath alone is so terrifying. It's so overwhelming that people can't breathe, and the heart of worship is just around the corner. It seems that only kneeling in front of them will not be panic. Bai Yingxue looked at the two statues, and her voice trembled. Obviously, she was shocked by the momentum of the two statues, and she felt that standing in front of them like this seemed to be arrogant and rude, and she would be forgiven only after worshipping. If you take their pills, the desire will be stronger at this time, but don't worry too much, this is a vivid statue, and it is normal to have this kind of breath. Longchen said. What is a vivid statue? Bai Yingxue apparently had never heard of it. The statue of the gods is to transmit the power of faith to the worshippers. For example, if they worship my god, the power of their faith will be enjoyed by me. There is also a kind of statue, called the statue of the gods, which is Brahma or Luoshani. It can lose its power to his followers in reverse, either to help them improve, or to give them more powerful power. However, most of the cultivators are like the Pishio, they can only get in, and there are very few divine statues. It is difficult to take out the things that go into their pockets. The two expressive statues in front of them condensed the power of belief in Brahma Pill Valley for countless years, and were not taken away by De Brahma and Luo Tianai, so the coercion was as vast as the sea, and it looked extremely scary. Longchen said. Bai Yingxue suddenly realized and at the same time admired Longchen, and said with admiration, "You are still amazing, you know so much about them." Longchen smiled slightly. My brother has been dealing with them from the mortal world to the immortal world, and of course he knows a lot. Not only does he understand, but he even urinated on their heads. Longchen suddenly had a bold idea in his heart. If he could urinate on the heads of these two idols, I'm afraid the entire Emperor Heaven would be shaken. This is a good opportunity to make a name for himself. Do you dare to be bolder? Suddenly Chen Kuan-ding said. Senior. Longchen was shocked, and Chen Kuan-ding actually knew his thoughts based on the fluctuation of his soul. Smash these two statues and take away the power of faith. In this case, Emperor Tian can be shaken. Chen Kuan-ding said. Yes, as long as you support me to do it, I will do it. Who is Longchen? He has never been afraid of things. Since Chen Kuan-ding can start, he dares to do it to the end. Breaking their statues is not the purpose. I want their power of belief. I don't know if it is because of your influence. I don't want to take the usual path now. Chen Kuan-ding said with some distress. Chen Kuan-ding has always been calm and never likes to take risks. In its subconscious, it always feels that taking risks is stupid. But after following Longchen for so long, he found that Longchen was plagued with bad luck, and resources could only be obtained by taking risks, and the greater the danger, the richer the harvest. Nowadays, Chen Kuan-ding is also a little tired of the steady way of promotion. The clear soup is tired of drinking water, and it suddenly breeds the desire to eat meat. The power of faith contained in these two statues is a piece of super meat for it. Compared with the previous harvest of this piece of meat in the Long family, the harvest of the Long family is no different from mosquito legs. The most important thing is that this piece of meat can be eaten, and for a while, it is moved. Okay, senior, prepare yourself, and do it while others are not guarding us. When Longchen heard that he was going to smash the statues of De Brahma and Luo Tianai, he was very excited and did what he said. Chen Kuan-ding hurriedly stopped. Hey, don't worry, this kind of thing has to be done in a step-by-step manner, and you can't just mess around with your head. Besides, your target this time is the Heavenly Fire Demon Domain. Even if you want to smash it, wait until you come out of the Heavenly Fire Demon Domain. No matter how you do it, the order can't be messed up. It's mainly because I don't like these two guys. Longchen said. Then you have to endure it first, don't get excited. Chen Kuan-ding advised. Bai Yingxue saw Longchen's face several times just now, a moment of anger, a moment of excitement, and now a look of unwillingness. Bai Yingxue was stunned, and he didn't know what he was thinking. Clank. Suddenly a melodious sound of the piano came, and the sound of the piano was in the ear. Longchen's soul trembled slightly, Longchen's heart beat wildly, hurriedly looked for the sound, and then saw a familiar figure on the high platform in the distance. Chapter 5074. Longchen looked at the sound, and there was a high platform between the statues of Brahma and Luoshani. Originally, the high platform was empty, and suddenly a melodious sound of the piano sounded, and a woman in a palace dress stepped onto the high platform. Liao Yuhuang. Long Chen didn't expect to meet another acquaintance here, Liao Yuhuang of Qinzong, and now Liao Yuhuang has receded from the greenness of the past and has become much calmer, and his temperament is not the same as before. Obviously, Qinzong's practice is to cultivate the mind, and the cultivation of the mind is about ups and downs in the world, looking for the common point between the Tao of music and the Tao of heaven, so as to see the heaven with music and connect the heaven with music. Judging from Liao Yuhuang's temperament, the last time she parted, her realm was much higher, and her growth rate was equally astonishing. The sound of the piano reverberated through the square, like big beads and small beads falling on a jade plate, which attracted everyone's attention at once, and people rushed to the high platform. Long Chen was no exception. He pulled by Yingxue for the first time and found the best appreciation. Location. Clank. Liao Yu and Huang Ye's fingers flicked, the strings beat, and the mysterious sound was refreshing. At that moment, people seemed to be in the mountains and waters, washing away the filth, which shocked people. Long Chen likes to listen to the sound of the piano very much, because when he hears the sound of the piano, he will think of a person who is dressed in purple and has a noble temperament. Life and death. She is Ziyan. After the immortal realm, Ziyan once rescued him, but at a glance, Long Chen couldn't even see her appearance, but her familiar aura was already contaminated with demonic energy. Ziyan, where are you? It's so worrying. Long Chen looked at Liao Yuhuang's slender hands, and his eyes gradually became moist. Looking back on the past, among the many beauties, Long Chen and Ziyan spent the shortest time together, but the emotion between them has never diminished in the slightest. Ziyan's hand stroking the violin, the appearance of the autumn waves flowing, has long been deeply imprinted in his soul. After years of baptism, it has not been blurred at all, but it has become more and more clear. The last time they said goodbye, Long Chen has been trying to find out about Ziyan, but for so long, there has been no news, and it is 9 days old, so how to find it? Whenever the feeling of missing is flooded, it will be out of control. I don't know when the sound of the piano stopped, but Long Chen didn't notice it at all. It wasn't until Bai Yingxian shook Long Chen's hand that Long Chen reacted. Before he knew it, he found that his cheeks were wet, and he was a little embarrassed. He hurried. Wipe the tears from your face. This friend of the dragon family, the little sister, is rude. Can you ask the little sister, why are you crying? Liao Yuhuang looked at Long Chen and said, at this time, Long Chen, with golden runes on his face, looks different from the original. His appearance and breath also changed, and Liao Yuhuang couldn't recognize him. But looking at Long Chen's eyes, she had a similar feeling, and when she played the piano, she saw the deep affection in Long Chen's eyes, with endless tenderness, which made her tremble and almost played away. After the song was played, Liao Yuhuang looked around and found that the strong people in the square were all attracted, and the crowd was endless. But for some reason, Long Chen was among them, but he stood out from the crowd and looked so conspicuous. The piano channel, the way to the heart to the heart, because the sound of the piano evokes the purest emotion in people's hearts, it is not surprising that among the strong players in the field, there are also countless people who are moved by the sound of Liao Yuhuang, revealing their true feelings, but Long Chen among these people, it still seems so different. Originally, after Liao Yuhuang finished playing the song, he should go straight down. Seeing Long Chen, she couldn't help but ask. Before that she had already asked, but Long Chen's mind was full of Ziyan's shadow. Now hearing Liao Yuhuang's question, Long Chen sighed and said in Bai Dalyu's unique voice, the girl is highly skilled and has a profound understanding of the piano, which reminds me of a confidant. Because of the separation for several years, there is no news, and if I want to find it, it is like looking for a needle in a haystack, nowhere to be found. Liao Yuhuang asked, is that girl proficient in music too? Long Chen said, forget it, I met her because of a grand meeting where we talked about Taoism with joy. As soon as he said this, Long Chen remembered the scene of talking nonsense in front of Ziyan with Mo Nian, and he couldn't help feeling filled with emotion. So your excellency is also a master of music? Liao Yuhuang said with surprise and joy. Long Chen shook his head and said, "No, no, I'm not a master, but I like it very much." "Your Excellency, if you are not a master of music, how could that girl become your confidant?" Xiaomei once heard that there is a family of dragons who are proficient in music and have the highest talent. Liao Yuhuang's face showed a hint of shame. Long Chen smiled. "Your Excellency is proficient in music theory, and your realm is detached. How can you be blessed? That family has always been by your side." "Beside me? How is this possible?" Liao Yuhuang was surprised. "You got this piano recently, right?" Long Chen asked. Liao Yuhuang was taken aback. "Yes, you look at the head of the piano. Is there a picture of a bull's horn?" Long Chen asked. Liao Yuhuang was startled again. Of course she knew that there was a bull horn picture on the head of the qin. This guqin was a treasure she accidentally acquired recently, and the bull horn picture would only appear when her mind and the qin were integrated, and it appeared. At that time, only she could see it, not others. When Long Chen said this bull horn picture, she was shocked and looked at Long Chen in disbelief, and Buying Shua next to Long Chen was also taken aback. She didn't expect Long Chen to understand this. Long Chen said, "Because you have not yet fully recognized it, you can only see the double horns, but not the head, let alone the body. It is the prison cow in the dragon family. They are a very special ethnic group and are almost not included in the dragon family tree. Their front half is an ox and the back half is a dragon. They have the power of dragon blood, but they have no desire to kill. They are gentle in temperament, love peace, and like music. I have to say that you have obtained a treasure, which will help you gain more insight into the path of happiness. However, there is one thing that you must remember." Liao Yuhuang said respectfully, "Little sister is listening." Long Chen said solemnly, "That is, don't use this violin to kill, otherwise, it will leave immediately, and you will be unhappy with the prisoner for the rest of your life, and you will never meet the prisoner again in this life. The scene of the piano is attached." A bunch of nonsense. Just then, a sneer came from a distance. Chapter 5075. Long Chen looked back and found that the speaker was tall like an iron tower, and his whole body was wrapped in dense black runes. It was the ancient Tianjiao Minglong Wushang of the Minglong family. Around Minglong Wushang, dozens of the sons of destiny of the Minglong clan followed behind him, but the mighty son of destiny walked behind him like a follower, not daring to take half a step, and his timid appearance was embarrassing. Minglong Wushang walked in a square step, and walked over so arrogantly and domineering, and countless strong people around saw them coming, and they gave way. Minglong Wushang walked unobstructed all the way to the high platform. Liao Yuhuang frowned slightly when she saw this Minglong Wushang. She was listening to Long Chen talking about business, but such a person came out to make trouble. Minglong Wushang sneered, "What kind of prisoner of cattle? They have been removed from the dragon clan long ago. You don't understand everything, but you are talking nonsense here." As soon as Minglong Wushang appeared, he aimed at Long Chen. At this time, the eyes of countless people in the square suddenly focused on Long Chen and Minglong Wushang. Countless powerhouses are discussing in private. There are many races here, and some people don't even know the relationship between the dragon clan. "Sister, look at that person's back. Does it look like?" Hu Xiaoyu and Feng Yu were also in the crowd. When she saw the back of Long Chen opposite Minglong Wushang, Hu Xiaoyu couldn't help but tremble. Like, it's a pity that it's not him. Now he should be the dean of the first academy. Feng Yu looked at Long Chen's back and couldn't help but let out a sigh. When she came to open Lingxiao Academy, she actually had her own selfishness. She thought she was competitive in her heart. She didn't want to receive too much favor from Long Chen. She wanted to continue to be her boss. She wanted to lead the Rong Beast clan to glory. Rely on your own strength to achieve your dreams. By the side of Long Chen, she will feel inferior, and the strong people of the Rong Beast clan worship Long Chen very much. She is afraid that one day, she will become a dispensable existence in their hearts. Therefore she resolutely chose to leave, but now, she regrets it. She does not regret what happened to her. That is the punishment she deserves. As the leader, she took the wrong path and brought everyone in. She originally thought that she could rise in the beast-melting alliance. After all, they were all of the same kind. However, she found that the same kind was sometimes more cruel than the different kind. However, there was no turning back when she opened the bow, so she could only bite the bullet and go on. As long as she didn't die, she would have a chance after all. Moreover, she has put all her hopes in the Skyfire Demon domain. She wants the advanced Son of Destiny in the Skyfire Demon domain. At that time, she will take back everything she owes her. Looking at the back of Long Chen, she suddenly felt so lonely. She thought of Long Chen, his reassuring smile, and his shoulders that were not broad, but seemed to be able to carry the domineering of the entire sky. It would be great if he was there. Just when Feng Yu was thinking about it, Ming Long Wushang had come to Long Chen. He was a whole head taller than Long Chen. Long Chen looked so thin and small in front of him. Long Chen looked at the arrogant Ming Long Wushang with a faint smile and said, "I don't know, do you know? You are a traitor, how much can you know? You still have the face to propose the word removal. Don't you know that your Ming Long family has been removed from the dragon family long ago? 50 steps with 100 steps, is that interesting?" Snapped, as soon as Long Chen's words came out, the faces of all the powerhouses of the Ming Long clan sank, and everyone pressed their weapons in a posture that they would kill Long Chen at any time. And Long Chen sneered at their posture, "Don't pretend to be here. If you dare to take action here, I guarantee that all of your Ming Long family will die here. Do you believe it? This is Hantian Square, at the feet of De Brahma and Luo Tianai. Whoever dares to kill here is blaspheming the gods. That is the biggest challenge to Brahma Pill Valley. Brahma Pill Valley will never be used to them." The disciples of the Ming Long clan were overwhelmed, thinking that they could frighten each other with a slap in the face, touching the weapons and the reputation of the Ming Long clan, but unfortunately, they forgot where it was, and even more forgot the opposite of them. Don't be rude, that Ming Long Wushang was still a little brainy, and he drank his subordinates with a cold face, and those subordinates also borrowed the donkey to go downhill and let go of their hands, but this posture seemed to tell others that the reason why they did not do anything was not because they were afraid Long Chen, but a kind of respect for Ming Long Wushang. "Boy, well, see you in the heavenly fire demon realm. I hope your mouth will be as hard as it is now." Ming Long Wushang looked at Long Chen and said coldly. Long Chen ignored Ming Long Wushang, but looked at Liao Yuhuang and said, "Don't listen to some idiots. Since you have the favor of the prisoner, you must cherish it and remember my words." "Thank you for your reminder, little sister." Liao Yuhuang is very grateful. "I wonder if you can ask your name." Liao Yuhuang gave Long Chen a slight bow. "I'm having fun." Long Chen also clasped his fists. "Huh? What kind of stupid name is that? As soon as I hear the name, I know it's a little shrew." Hearing Long Chen's name, the powerhouses of the Ming Long family immediately sneered, as if they had heard something very funny. However, Liao Yuhuang's face changed. A name is just a mark. A name cannot represent a person's strength, nor can it represent a person's cultivation. Wouldn't it be too impolite and educated to cancel others just based on a name? She has great respect for Long Chen, and she begged with all her heart. Long Chen's words were very helpful to her, and she was grateful. Now that these people cancel Long Chen like this, even she can't help but be angry. Seeing Liao Yuhuang's anger, those disciples of the Ming Long clan, "You look at me, I look at you, and don't speak anymore. Qin Zong, they don't want to offend, because I heard that Qin Zong has a relationship with Brahma Pill Valley unusual. Yuhuang, a little bit of a spat can make you resentful, and your mood swings are so huge. Where have you been practicing for so many years?" At this moment, a scolding came, and then a group of women moved gently and walked away. On the high platform, there were 12 women in that group. They were graceful in figure and beautiful in face. The head of the group had a high bun and flowing temples. Not a single one of their hair was messy. This woman's face is extremely beautiful. Her nose bridge is higher than that of ordinary women, and her eyes are filled with cold and arrogance. Senior sister, Yu Huang knew he was wrong. Seeing the woman, Liao Yuhuang suddenly became frightened. And when the woman looked at Ming Long Wushang, a sneer appeared on the corner of her mouth. The world has changed, and even traitors dare to show off. As soon as the woman opened her mouth, the faces of the powerhouses of the Minglong clan changed. She was ruthlessly exposing the scars of the Minglong clan. Chapter 5076. The Qinzong woman's face was indifferent and her tone was cold. As soon as she opened it, she tore open the scars of the Minglong family, which made Minglong Wushang furious. However, before he could speak, the Qinzong woman looked at Long Chen and Buying Xue again, and a mocking expression appeared on the corner of her mouth. At present, the traitor can still coexist peacefully with them. The dragon family has completely declined, and it is no longer the dragon family it used to be. When the Qinzong woman said this, Long Chen couldn't help frowning. What does this woman mean? After destroying the Minglong family, she came to demote the Bailong family. The woman looked around, her eyes were full of contempt, and she shook her head and said, Brahma Pill Valley once said that when the heavenly fire demon realm is opened, and the arrogance of the heavens gathers, there must be people who are erudite and talented. Now it seems that they are just a group of rabble, and you are not qualified to listen to me playing the piano and music. The woman snorted coldly, then turned around and left. Originally, Liao Yuhuang and the others had already stood up, waiting to play the piano together, but she didn't expect that the woman would stop acting. Senior Sister Kaching, we agreed with Dan Gu. Liao Yuhuang hurriedly whispered when the woman was about to leave. You don't need to remind me, Qin music is an elegant way. What's the point of playing the Qin with the rabble, like playing the Qin on a cow? The woman snorted coldly. After speaking, the woman flicked her sleeves and left with such a cold face, causing the strong people present to be inexplicable, not knowing what happened, and everyone was stunned. I don't know if the skill is high or not, but this temper is really not small. Long Chen looked at the back of the woman leaving, and couldn't help shaking his head. Liao Yuhuang and the others looked embarrassed. Originally, Qin Zong had negotiated with Brahma Pill Valley and would perform 3 performances here. Qin Zong could take this opportunity to discuss the sound wheel with the world's masters. Said it was a rare opportunity. Unexpectedly, Qin Kaching, the first piano master of Qin Zong, just arrived, glanced at it and left, and everyone was embarrassed. What are you doing? You love to play, but no one forces you to play, and you open your mouth to swear. Why? Did she just eat shit? Finally, someone with a bad temper couldn't help but scolded. That Qin Kaching is too arrogant, you look down on everyone, you cannot play, but what you say about the rabble and how to play the Qin to the cow is equivalent to scolding everyone. Qin Zong, although famous all over the world, but some forces that are not human race, they are not so famous, some people directly scold. Liao Yuhuang was extremely embarrassed to hear it, and hurriedly said, I'm sorry everyone, Senior Sister Qin Kaching is in a bad mood today, there is something in her words that offends you, the little sister is here to apologize to everyone. In addition, our sister sang a song for everyone, and please give me your advice. After Liao Yuhuang finished speaking, she bowed respectfully to everyone. Liao Yuhuang was graceful, with a humble tone, and her voice was as sweet as a silver bell. After she apologized, it was difficult for people to be angry with her. In addition, it wasn't her who was scolding others, so naturally others would not blame her. After Liao Yuhuang and the women looked at each other, at the same time, the jade hand tapped the strings of the piano, and the audience suddenly fell silent. Clank. Immediately afterwards, 12 people plucked the strings with their jade hands at the same time. The movements of the 12 people were uniform, and the 12 sounds of the piano sounded at the same time. At that moment, the powerhouses in the scene were all unmoved. Although they didn't understand the rhythm, they could feel the almost perverted difficulty. Just like 12 people talking at the same time, no matter how neatly they speak, they can hear the superposition of each other, and they will never hear only one voice. But they did it. The minds and spirits of the 12 people are connected and mixed together. If they are used in battle, this is an extremely terrifying formation. Although everyone is a layman, they can also see the doorway. The most important thing is that the 12 kinds of voices are fused together, and the voices seem to be condensed into one. The mellow sound of the piano is like drizzle falling on the mountains and rivers. It is very soft and moist, and it is like the bright moon hanging high, illuminating the world. Its light is very soft and soft. It also illuminates the world, but it does not. The sun is so fierce and domineering. When the piano sounded, the whole square fell into silence for a moment, and there was no sound from the piano. Even those who had just arrived stopped, for fear that their own voice would destroy the wonderful piano sound. The sound of the piano was gentle at first, and then the sound became louder and louder, and the momentum changed from warm to majestic, as if a chick had begun to spread its wings, as if a peony was about to bloom, and at this time, the sound of the piano began to become low again. The strength was accumulated in the low, and then it exploded. The rhythm of the piano sound became faster and stronger. At that moment, it was as if the eagle hit the sky, the flowers were in full bloom, the scorching sun rose, and the blood of the people was instantly ignited by the sound of the piano. Suddenly the sound of the piano came to an abrupt end, but in the ears and minds of the people, the reverberation lingered for a long time, and there was no sound in the audience, and people were still immersed in the shock brought by the sound of the piano. When people looked at the women of Qinzhong, some people admired, some respected, and some had a trace of fear in their eyes. Because some people deliberately use their willpower to resist the interference of the sound of the piano on their soul fluctuations, but they find that they can't do it at all. After a few sounds of the piano, they will be brought into the song, and endless pictures will emerge in their minds. If it is a battle, affected by the sound of the piano, unable to concentrate, the combat power will be greatly reduced. However, this is not the most terrifying. The most terrifying thing is that since the sound of the piano can affect the soul of a person, it can control the soul of a person. This is the most frightening thing. At the end of the performance, Liao Yuhuang and others collected the piano at the same time, bowed to everyone, and the others drifted away. Only Liao Yuhuang came to Long Chen and bowed to her alone. Today's grace, Yuhuang wrote down, "I hope I have the opportunity to listen to your advice alone." Liao Yuhuang's actions immediately caused countless people to look at Long Chen sideways, and the powerhouses of the Minglong clan looked jealous. After the song, people were shocked by Liao Yuhuang and others, and even Qin Qiking's rudeness to them before was taken for granted. Their piano skills made people feel ashamed. And Liao Yuhuang was so polite to Long Chen, which suddenly made countless people feel unconvinced, and even cast an unfriendly look at Long Chen. Long Chen smiled slightly and said, "You're polite girl, your name contains the pentatonic and 12 laws, and your mind is indeed worthy of such a name." However, after Long Chen finished speaking, he wanted to slap his mouth, but it was too late to regret it, and Liao Yuhuang was also taken aback. She looked at Long Chen with big eyes, and Long Chen screamed badly and hurriedly said, "My confidant has a friend named Gong Rui, who has the same meaning as your excellency's Yuhuang." Only then did Liao Yuhuang reply from the shock. She smiled slightly and said, "That's a coincidence. Your excellency is the second person to praise my name." "Oh, someone said it before me? Then I want to see and see." Long Chen pretended to be very interested. "Sorry, I can't say his name. My little sister has something to do, so I'll excuse you." Liao Yuhuang bowed to Long Chen again before leaving. At this time, Long Chen's back was sweating. "Damn, why do you have such a mouth?" It was almost said that the stuffing was revealed. Long Chen was so angry that he wanted to slap his mouth, and there really was no door. Bai Yingxue next to Long Chen looked at Long Chen with a look of admiration in her eyes. She could not have imagined that even the masters of Qinzhong admired Long Chen, and Long Chen was too knowledgeable. "What are you doing?" At this moment, a woman's anger came from behind Long Chen, and Long Chen turned his head to look, and his fists were suddenly creaked. Chapter 5077. Long Chen turned his head and happened to see a purple-haired man holding Feng Yu's wrist. Feng Yu was angry and wanted to break free, but he couldn't help but get angry at that person. The man was tall and thin, with strange purple hair. The most impressive thing was that he had a very long face, and the proportions of his facial features were very different from ordinary people, which made him look very uncomfortable. But in his eyes, there are countless thunder symbols flashing, and in his big hands, there are continuous thunder ripples flowing. He grabs Feng Fei, and his eyes are full of surprises. I didn't expect to meet such a beautiful woman here. Although the bloodline is not pure, I like your appearance, surrender to me, and I will give you supreme honor." When the purple-haired man appeared, countless people exclaimed, "Purple Electric Divine Phoenix Clan." Someone recognized the man's identity. The man stretched out his hand, and there were dozens of strong people from the Purple Lightning Divine Phoenix Clan. They were all purple spells, and the thunder runes circulated all over their bodies, making them very easy to identify. Many people have only heard of the Purple Lightning Divine Phoenix Clan because they only exist in legends, and few people have seen them in reality. Purple hair, long faces, thin heights, and thunder eyes are important features after they have transformed into human figures. People have recognized their identities according to legends. "Let me go!" Feng Yu shouted angrily. She struggled hard, but she couldn't break free from the man's big hand. Her strength seemed to be suppressed by strange energy, and she couldn't display it, and she couldn't even summon a vision. Furious, she had never met such a terrifying opponent. "Little girl, don't be ashamed. This is the prince of our Purple Lightning Divine Phoenix Clan, His Highness Huang Wudao. Let's not say that our patriarch is a great human emperor, it's just our Highness Huang Wudao. The strength is enough to look down on Jutian." A son of destiny from the Purple Lightning Divine Phoenix Clan stood up and sneered. "Human emperor?" At that moment, countless people exclaimed, "Is there any emperor-level powerhouse in this world?" Especially those powerhouses who came to Emperor Heaven from other heavens were even more horrified. Human sovereign means that after the heavenly sage powerhouse condenses the 9 heavenly meridian dragon chi, and after the 99 are unified, their own strength and heavenly Tao energy, as well as the blessing of racial aura, make a breakthrough and enter the human sovereign realm. There are 6 realms of immortality. The 6 realms of immortality: saints, human saints, earth saints, and heavenly saints, which are collectively referred to as holy realms. And when it comes to the emperor, it is no longer a holy realm, but an imperial realm, which has reached an unimaginable height for countless people. Although the strength of the 3 merited and 4 merged heavenly sage can already hold mountains and seas, destroying the sky and destroying the earth, but it is still a holy realm. Even if the 9 heavenly meridians are condensed and cannot be merged, it is still the same holy realm. But after the fusion, it is the Emperor's realm. This is a huge watershed. There are ants under the Emperor's realm. Even the 9 meridian Tianxing has no resistance here in front of the Emperor. This is the gap. And the reason why it is called human sovereign is because no matter if you want a group of monsters, beasts, spirits, monsters, demons, spirits, etc., you need to transform into a human form to attack the human sovereign realm, and after success, it also takes a long time maintains the human form, so it is called the Emperor. No matter how these races despised and slandered the human race, but there was no way, they were the Emperor, and all races were stuck to death. Whether they wanted to or not, they had to take this step. Therefore, many powerful races know this secret, so they will let their disciples practice and fight in human form early, in order to prepare for the impact of the Emperor's realm in the future. Although everyone knows that it is almost impossible to become a human emperor, even if it is a peerless genius, it is almost impossible, but although the hope is extremely slim, some preparations must be made. What if it succeeds? Therefore, even if it is an unparalleled genius, a peerless genius, most people have never thought that one day they will be able to ascend to the realm of the Emperor, and they don't even dare to think about it, because it is too far away and too vague. When everyone heard the word, human sovereign, they all felt shocked, not to mention seeing the Emperor himself. Even the name of the Emperor was enough to make people tremble. "Aren't you going to help?" In the crowd, Bai Yingxue looked at Long Chen and said, "If it's not convenient for you, I can help." Although she knows that she is not the opponent of that person, but this is the Brahma Pill Valley, and it is under the statue, she does not believe that the other party really dares to mess around. In addition, the Bailong family also has a certain deterrent force. She should be able to come forward. Let that person retreat. Long Chen shook his head and said, "We can't save her. The only one who can do her is herself." At this time, the women from the Rong Beast clan also rushed over, and they were furious at first. After all, Feng Fei is from the Rong Beast clan. This is to slap the Rong Beast clan in the face. I stood up, but when I felt the other party's terrifying aura, I instantly fainted. When they learned that they were the legendary God Emperor, and they were the sons of the human emperor, the women of the Rong Beast clan suddenly lit up. Feng Fei, what are you doing? Why don't you thank your highness for your kindness? Your highness can see you, it is a blessing you have cultivated in your 8 lifetimes. The catwoman from the Rong Beast clan shouted to Feng Fei. And the other women of the Rong Beast clan looked at the man with a flattering look on their faces. Feng Fei was shocked and angry when she heard it. Usually, it was okay to be bullied by the people of the Rong Beast clan. Now that she was bullied by outsiders, she heard Catwoman's words in her ears, and her murderous intent exploded in an instant. Suddenly Feng Fei opened her mouth and bit on the man's wrist. Feng Fei had no other strength, but she did her best when she bit down. Ah, bitch. The man of the Purple Lightning Divine Phoenix clan suffered severe wrist pain and was bitten with blood dripping. Buzz, however, just at the moment when the men of the Purple Lightning Divine Phoenix clan let go, Feng Yu was released by the sealed power. With a spear in his hand, Feng Ming rang in the sky. Feng Yu ignored the kick, and all his strength was concentrated on the spear. Stabbed at the eyebrows of the Purple Lightning Divine Phoenix clan. At this moment, Feng Yu gritted her teeth. She stabbed this shot with determination to die. She knew that her strength was far from this person, and if she wanted to kill him, this was the only chance. However, after killing the other party, she will inevitably be kicked, and she will definitely die, but at this moment, she continues to erupt in endless anger and grievances. Since separating from Long Chen, she has endured and endured again and again. Back and forth, there is no way back now. At this time, she finally remembered what Long Chen said to her, the road of cultivation. Don't retreat. Once you take 1 step back, you will take the 2nd step back, until there is no way to retreat, and there is a dead end. It's a pity that she realized it too late. Now she has no other thoughts, she just wants to kill the person in front of her wholeheartedly. She wants to use her life to right her own unyielding. Die. The strong man of the Purple Lightning Divine Phoenix clan was furious. Facing Feng Yu's shot, he ignored it, and still kicked Feng Yu violently. Boom! To Feng Fei's despair, the spear was several inches away from the man's eyebrows, and was blocked by the heavy thunder shields, unable to penetrate half a point. At that moment, Feng Fei knew that she was going to die. A wry smile appeared on the corner of her mouth, and she slowly closed her eyes, and at the moment when she closed her eyes, the figure of Long Chen appeared in her mind, and she sighed secretly in her heart. Do not. Boom! A loud bang came. Feng Yu was pulled aside by a powerful big hand, and a foot was kicked on the man's calf. The air was rolling, and the thunder light was surging, and the figure of Long Chen appeared in front of everyone. Chapter 5078. The person who shot is none other than Long Chen. He finally shot. In fact, just now, Long Chen has been shouting in his heart, "Shoot! Get started!" If Feng Yu doesn't take action, then Long Chen can't do it, and if she doesn't dare to fight herself, then Long Chen can't help her fight. Because of the road, she needs to choose by herself. As long as she dares to fight and dare to work hard, Long Chen can help her, and with the help of Long Chen, she can stand up again. There is a huge difference between Long Chen helping her up and standing up by herself. Only when she stands up can she really stand up. If Long Chen helps her up, when Long Chen is gone one day, she will fall down again. If you want to become a real powerhouse, you must rely on yourself. And Feng Yu finally broke out at the most critical moment. At that moment, she let go of all her burdens and worries. Her fighting spirit was ignited at this moment, so Long Chen shot. Feng Yu escaped from death and was grabbed by Long Chen's powerful hand. At that moment, she looked at Long Chen in disbelief. Because of the touch of her skin, she suddenly recognized Long Chen's identity. For a moment, she couldn't hold back her tears any longer, like a pearl with a broken thread. Court death. Huang Wudao was kicked by Long Chen, and the huge force shook him for a while. He was shocked and angry, and without saying a word, he grabbed Long Chen with one claw. At that moment, Long Chen's almost instinctive reaction was to slap him. At such a close distance, Long Chen was 100% sure and slapped him with a slap. But there are too many people here, and Long Chen dare not use this move. Seeing him grabbing it with one claw, Long Chen is about to fight back, and suddenly his heart is stunned. He gave up the counterattack, snorted coldly, and retreated violently, avoiding Huang Wudao's claw. Huang Wudao missed a hit, and the thunder circulated all over his body, like a bolt of lightning rushing to Long Chen, and Long Chen had already put on a defensive posture at this time. Boom! Huang Wudao roared, and with a punch, thunder whistled, and the power of a punch had the power to shatter the sky and the earth. At that moment, the strong people present were all horrified. Huang Wudao did not burst out aura, nor did he summon a vision. He attacked purely with the power of the source, but possessed such a terrifying coercion. The power of this blow could kill the Son of Destiny. Boom! Just as the punch was about to hit Long Chen's chest, a look of sarcasm appeared on Long Chen's face. He turned around, and the punch slid across Long Chen's chest. With a punch, countless people exclaimed, and even Huang Wudao's face changed, with a look of horror on his face, because behind Long Chen, there was the statue of Brahma. Huang Wudao was furious. He didn't notice the statue at all. Fell into Long Chen's trap. It turned out that when Long Chen was dodging before, he deliberately distorted the space and made Huang Wudao ignore the surrounding scene. If this punch hits the statue, the power of belief accumulated on the statue for countless years will directly shock Huang Wudao into a powder. Boom! Suddenly, a light curtain appeared on the statue of Brahma, separating Huang Wudao's fist from the statue. Huang Wudao groaned and flew out. Bang bang bang. Huang Wudao landed on the ground, rolled all the way out of the way, bounced up and down continuously, and was very embarrassed. You are so brave, you dare to act in front of the two supreme gods? Are you tired of living? At this moment, a cold snort came, and then, a majestic white-bearded old man appeared in the square. Superior, meet the domain master. When the old man appeared, countless disciples of Brahma Pill Valley in the square immediately bowed and saluted. It turned out that this person was the domain owner of the Cold Sky domain. When Long Chen saw the old man, his heart jumped wildly. Just now, Huang Wudao made a move. He was about to deal with him with a cross to destroy the gods, but was stopped by Chen Kuan-Ding. Chen Kuan-Ding told him that a master was peeping. With the strength of Long Chen, he has the keen perception ability of the 9 stars hegemony art, but he did not produce any sense. Now that the old man appeared, Long Chen felt a tingling in his scalp, because from his body, Long Chen felt the breath of the dragon veins, and the breath was different from all the powerhouses he had encountered before, and the old man's dragon veins. Compared with other people's dragon veins are small streams and rivers, but his dragon veins are vast oceans. Human King, Long Chen swallowed hard. He guessed the identity of this person. Bai Yingxian is already strong enough, but compared to him, he still looks so insignificant. The old man looked coldly at Huang Wudao, who got up from the ground and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and said coldly, "Stupid guy, if you didn't have a little friendship with your father, you would blaspheme my God at you. You have died many times." Although Huang Wudao is arrogant, he is not a fool. At that moment, he also saw that the old man in front of him, just like his father, was a human emperor-level powerhouse. The old man turned his head to look at Long Chen and said coldly, "When did the Bailong family become so cunning and treacherous? You shouldn't be pretending?" After the old man finished speaking, Long Chen suddenly felt his whole body tremble. The whole person could not move for a moment. The violent pressure almost crushed Long Chen, and Long Chen's power began to become surging, almost instinctively about to explode. "Hold back, he is testing you," Chen Kuan-Ding shouted. Long Chen also knew that he was testing himself, but under the pressure of death, his power would explode uncontrollably, and he was already desperately suppressing it. Buzzing. The white scales on Long Chen's body appeared, and the divine brilliance kept flashing, but under the pressure of the old man, blood seeped out from under the dragon scales, which seemed to crush Long Chen to death. Feng Yu and Bai Yingxue were shocked. They wanted to help Long Chen, but they were shocked to find that they had no idea when they were unable to move, not even blinking their eyes. Long Chen was shocked and angry. This old man, wouldn't he really want to kill Lao Tzu? Endless hatred grows in Long Chen's heart, and he has greeted the 18 generations of the old man's ancestors over and over again. The dignified emperor-level powerhouse actually embarrassed him. A little god, how shameless a person can be to do such a thing. The most hateful thing is that the emperor is too strong, so powerful that it is despairing. If he encounters Sanmai Tianxing Longchen, he will lose, but there is still a chance to fight back. In the face of a human emperor-level powerhouse, it is like an ant facing an elephant. It will only be crushed without any chance of resistance. That kind of humiliation makes Long Chen's killing intent soar to the sky. Just when Long Chen was about to be crushed, the terrifying pressure disappeared instantly, and Long Chen could no longer support it, so he fell to the ground so softly. Bai Yingxue and Feng Yu hurriedly supported Long Chen and prevented him from falling. At this time, Long Chen's face was extremely ugly, and his eyes were full of Sin Lung's killing intent, but he was powerless to resist. Looking at Long Chen's icy eyes, the old man said coldly, "You blaspheme my God, I will give you a small punishment today. If you dare to do it again, don't blame the old man for being ruthless." After the old man finished speaking, a ripple appeared in the space around his body like water, and the person disappeared instantly. Chapter 5079. When the domain master left, Huang Wudao looked gloomy. He just slapped the barrier arranged by the domain owner. You must know that the barrier was arranged by a human emperor-level powerhouse, and it contained the power of a human emperor. Although the domain master didn't want to kill him, he returned with all his own power, and the shock of the emperor's power caused his internal organs to crack, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. At this time, others have been severely injured, but he is very strong, gritted his teeth and endured it, pretending to be nothing, looking at Long Chen coldly. "Boy, wait, in the heavenly fire demon realm, the head will be taken from your neck." At this time, Long Chen's face was pale, and the murderous intent in his eyes did not diminish. He looked at Huang Wudao coldly. "I've been thinking about your life for a long time. It's best if you can deliver it to your door." It was Huang Wudao who almost hit the dragon dust flying boat outside the cold sky territory. At that time, Long Chen was already thinking about how to kill him. As a result, the enemy's road was narrow, and before he could find it, this guy had already hit him. Let's wait and see. The White Dragon family, it seems that there is no need to exist in the future. Huang Wudao snorted coldly and left with the people. His words were extremely arrogant. Although Long Chen is accustomed to arrogant people, such arrogant people are really rare. In his words, there is the meaning of directly erasing the Bailong family. What does he rely on? Is it himself, or is it his emperor's father? When Lao Tzu is promoted to the immortal realm, Lao Tzu must meet you human emperors. Lao Deng of Brahma Pill Valley, you wait for Lao Tzu. Long Chen gritted his teeth secretly. "Are you all right?" Bai Yingxue supported Long Chen with a concerned expression. "I cough." Long Chen was about to speak when he suddenly coughed violently. "This bastard, give me such a heavy hand, you wait for me." Long Chen roared in his heart. His injury was more serious than he imagined. The Pill Valley domain master didn't know if he was going to abolish him, or he wanted to give the Bailong clan a disgrace, or he was really suspicious of him. The emperor's prestige almost crushed Long Chen. The meridians were severely damaged. If it wasn't for Long Chen's firm will, being so oppressed would cause his will to collapse and his soul to be damaged, then it would be really troublesome. Catwoman saw this with a gloomy face and scolded, "Feng Yu, you troublemaker, hurry back to me, don't be here." Snapped. As a result, before Catwoman's words were finished, Feng Yu's 5 fingers were hooked and slapped her face fiercely. Catwoman didn't expect that the always cowardly Feng Yu would suddenly fight back. After one claw, she forcibly tore off half of her face. "The damn bastard, do you think I'm still the Feng Yu who let you bully me before? I'm not even afraid of death, what else can you use to oppress me?" Feng Yu looked at Catwoman and gritted her teeth. At this time, Feng Yu had a ferocious face, gritted her teeth, and scared Catwoman and the others to retreat. Feng Yu was indeed not the original Feng Yu. She was more like a beast who rushed out of the cage to prepare for revenge. Half of Catwoman's face was caught, but she couldn't care to cry, and now she was scared by Feng Yu and backed up again and again. Feng Yu looked at them with a gloomy expression. "The humiliation you gave me, I will return it to you thousands of times, and you wait for me." At this time, Catwoman and the others couldn't care about what to say, and ran away in a panic. In their opinion, Feng Fei was crazy at this time, and she couldn't bet her life on whether she dared to shoot. Hu Xiaoyu looked at Feng Yu. She was a little scared. At this time Feng Yu was indeed very scary. Feng Yu looked at Hu Xiaoyu, and there was a touch of tenderness in her eyes. "Don't be afraid, sister. We have nothing left, and there is nothing to fear. From now on, our sisters will depend on each other for life and attack immortality together. Then kill the beast-melting alliance and take away our clansmen. The blood debt must be paid in blood, and none of those wicked people who have insulted us can be spared." Looking at Feng Yu, Hu Xiaoyu nodded. She had wanted to resist for a long time, but she didn't dare and was unable to resist. Now that Feng Yu is going out, she also decided to go out. Feng Yu looked at Long Chen. She was about to speak when she suddenly thought of something and immediately closed her mouth. "My name is Bai Daoyu, and it's an honor to meet a supersized beauty like you." Long Chen looked at Feng Yu with a smile on his face. When Long Chen said the name of the supersized beauty, Hu Xiaoyu was also surprised. At that moment, she finally understood that the person who saved them was Long Chen. Because when Long Chen was with them before, he often praised Feng Yu as a supersized beauty, but Feng Yu obviously didn't like this title, but Long Chen called a lot, and she got used to it. At that moment, Hu Xiaoyu's tears couldn't stop flowing. In fact, Hu Xiaoyu has always been an admirer of Long Chen, and she has long regarded Long Chen as their leader. When Feng Yu separated them from Long Chen, she didn't know how many times she secretly cried, but she also knew Feng Yu's character and what Feng Yu was thinking, so she could only follow. Now that she saw the idol in her heart again, at that moment, as if in the long dark night, she finally saw the dawn, and at that moment, she felt that the whole world was lit up. I, Bai Daoyu, are the first master of the younger generation of the Bailong family, and this is the second master Bai Yingxue. Let's get to know him. Long Chen introduced Bai Yingxue to them. Bai Yingxue is smart. From the reaction of the two, it can be seen that they recognize Long Chen's identity. Long Chen can let them know their identity, which means that they are absolutely trustworthy and very enthusiastic. "Long Chen, are you all right?" Feng Yu looked at Long Chen, a little worried, and at the same time, there was endless self-blame in her eyes. Long Chen did this to save her. "When I thought that if I hadn't left Lingshao Academy back then, these things would never have happened, I suddenly felt regret and sadness. I'm fine that Lao Deng is really shameless." One day Lao Tzu turns over and opens his ass. Long Chen gritted his teeth and mentioned this matter. Long Chen was full of fire. The feeling of being unable to struggle will make people nervous. Long Chen never wants to experience a second time in his life. Fortunately, he is about to enter the heavenly fire demon realm. When he advances to immortality, he can practice the 8-star battle body. At that time, even if you can't beat the emperor, you should be able to escape, but it will not be like now. You can't beat it, you can't escape, it's too desperate. After Long Chen swallowed an elixir, his spirit was slightly shaken. Bai Yingxue proposed to return to Wanlong's nest to rest, but Long Chen refused. Although his injury is terrifying, but there will be no major battle in Hantian City, so don't be afraid, he can cultivate while doing other things. "Let's go, cross the square, it's the Hantian auction house, let's go and see." Long Chen took a deep breath and walked towards the back of the square with everyone. Chapter 50-80 Passing through the square, there is a high mountain in front of it. The mountain was flattened and a palace was built. This is where the disciples of Dengu usually live. When seeing the place where the Pill Valley disciples lived, even Long Chen couldn't help but sigh. It's called life here. Every disciple has a palace with a single door and a single courtyard. Although the palace is not big, there are some things that should be inside and some things that shouldn't be there. The most important thing is that there is a magic circle inside. It is not forbidden for outsiders to enter here, But after entering, you can only visit, but you cannot touch anything inside, otherwise it will cause the host to be unhappy. Every Pill Valley disciple's residence is equipped with an alchemy room, a practice room, and a chanting room. There are 8 maids serving on the daily life. All the residences are spotless and clean. Bai Yingxue looked envious, and Feng Yu and Hu Xiaoyu were even more yearning, but Long Chen told them not to be fooled by superficial phenomena. What you see is only what others want to see for you. Long Chen does not believe that ordinary disciples of Brahma Pill Valley can be treated so highly. Besides, in a normal sect, who would let others see where the disciples lived? This is clearly to create a sense of well-being. If the disciple of Brahma Pill Valley really wanted anything, would he still count the fire of his son? If they were really happy, would they hide so much malice in their eyes? Just let them take a look at Long Chen. Don't take it too seriously. When the sun shines on you, you will always show the best side in the light and hide the bad side in the dark. Hearing what Long Chen said, the 3 women suddenly realized, and at the same time, they sighed at Long Chen's wisdom, and Feng Yu smiled bitterly in his heart. There was a wise man by her side, but she persisted in her stupidity and finally reached this point. There are already many clansmen who died of suffocation in the beast-melting alliance because of her stupidity. When she thought of this, she was full of remorse. Long Chen seemed to see her thoughts and said, "As a leader, you will always face various choices, and the wrong choice is not terrible." "What is that scary?" Feng Yu asked. "The scary thing is that you don't even have the courage to choose," Long Chen said. Feng Yu heard the words and nodded, but having said that, a person's decision determines the life and death of others, and this courage is not possessed by everyone, especially after experiencing failure. "Long Chen, have you ever made a wrong choice?" Feng Yu heard the words. Long Chen shook his head and said, "In my case, there is no such thing as a mistake, because I do things according to my heart. Right or wrong is not important to me. The Dragon Blood Legion that was born and died with me, from more than 10,000 people, now only has more than 7,000 to less than 8,000. Do you think all my decisions are right or wrong?" Feng Yu was startled, then smiled bitterly. "As smart as you can't be perfect, let alone me. In this world, there is nothing perfect. No one can tell what will happen in the future. Your current decision seems to be correct now, but if the time is pushed back 10 years, 100 years, or 1,000 years, you can guarantee your decision must be correct?" Long Chen looked at Feng Yu and said, "The answer is no, no one can. Since no one can, there is no need to worry about right and wrong. Seeing my brothers die tragically, the pain cannot be described in words. After the sadness is over, I will wipe away my tears and continue walking in the dark with a smile on my face. Because very early on, we realized that those of us who are alive live better with the will of those dead brothers. We have to break through the darkness and see the beautiful dawn." Feng Yu's heart trembled violently, and the knot of depression in her heart, under Long Chen's words, was like Bai Shui meeting the rising sun, slowly melting, and those unintelligible problems were figured out all at once. In fact, what Feng Yu experienced, Long Chen has already experienced it, and enlightening her is just a matter of a few words. At that moment, Feng Yu's face was no longer gloomy, and her eyes gradually had the look of the past, as if she had escaped the curse, and her whole person's temperament changed. Seeing Feng Yu's appearance, Hu Xiaoyu's eyes turned red with excitement. She knew that the former Feng Yu was back. Bai Yingxue, on the other hand, admired Long Chen, and she found that the more she got to know Long Chen, the more she would feel his strength, not accidental but inevitable. His strength was reflected in all aspects, as if he was a person without any god of weakness. "Thank you," Feng Yu looked at Long Chen and said affectionately. If it weren't for the presence of someone next to her, she would definitely give her a hard hug, the man who had helped her countless times and gave her a new life. "You're welcome, aren't you? Who are we?" Long Chen said with a smile. While joking, the 4 of them passed through the residence of the Dangu disciples and came to a square. This square is much smaller than the previous Hantian Square, but it is only compared to the Hantian Square. If you compare the Long family, the square is 1,000 times larger. At this time, the square was very lively and full of people. Around the square, there were all shops. There were countless voices of bargaining, and there were endless shouts of contempt. As soon as Long Chen and others appeared, some disciples wearing Dangu costumes shouted, "Free trade zone, no use of force, otherwise, no matter who, they will be expelled from the Cold Sky territory." The Pill Valley disciple probably shouted too much, and his voice became hoarse. When a wave of people came, he would shout again, to let everyone know that force cannot be used here. The shops on the edge of the free trade zone are all prepared by Brahma Pill Valley for the major forces. The Bailong family is also eligible to get a shop. However, this shop is not free, and the rent is sky high. The White Dragon clan refused directly. On the one hand, their goals were different, and the White Dragon clan had nothing to trade. However, even the sky-high rent can only be traded for a few days, but there is not a single vacancy in the surrounding shops, and all of them have been rented out. After all, there are too many people here, and there are all ethnic groups. The business opportunities are extremely amazing. However, this is also the place where conflicts are most likely to break out. Therefore, the entire square is filled with powerful Dangu people who are responsible for maintaining order. In the void, an old man of the 3 Meridian Sage level was sitting there, monitoring the entire square. After all, there are too many arrogances here, and the first line and double Meridian Sages can't hold the place, and they need a powerful person to come. Field control. In the center of the square, there is a very eye-catching building. Long Chen took the 3 of them and walked there for the first time. That place is where the currency is exchanged, and when he saw the currency that needs to be used, Long Chen couldn't help but gasp. A breath of cold air. Chapter 5081. My God, Kes Amethyst. Feng Yu and Hu Xiaoyu couldn't help exclaiming. The trading unit here turned out to be Chaos Amethyst. You must know that Feng Yu and Hu Xiaoyu only had Chaos Spirit Stone and high-grade Chaos Spirit Stone in their hands, not even the best Chaos Spirit Stone. And that Chaotic Amethyst, they have only heard of it, but have never seen it before, and here, it is the transaction currency, which is simply crazy. You must know that a piece of Chaotic Amethyst can be exchanged for 10 million top-quality Chaotic Spirit Stones. 10 million, that is a number that kills people. However, in addition to Chaos Amethyst, there is also a harder currency, Holy King Pill. Holy King Pill is a medicine that practitioners must have after they advance to immortality. The Holy King Pill is not an elixir that can only be eaten by the Holy King realm, but an elixir that must be eaten by the 6 immortal realms. Even the Heavenly Sage Powerhouse needs to eat it if they want to condense the Heavenly Vessel as soon as possible. Therefore, Holy Pill is the strongest currency in the entire cultivation world at present. The price of a Holy King Pill is 1,000 high-quality Chaos Spirit Stones, and Chaos Amethyst is too rare, and the exchange rate is constantly changing, so most people will trade with the Holy King Pill. 99% of the Holy King Pills in the entire Emperor Heaven are from Brahma Pill Valley, but the top-quality Holy King Pills are almost invisible from the outside, because the outsiders are not capable of refining the top-quality Holy King Pills. The Holy King Pill that is traded here as a currency is the top-quality Holy King Pill, and other low-grade medicinal pills will not work, because Dangu is afraid of being impersonated. After all, the low-level Holy King Pill can be refined by others. A Holy King Pill, you actually need 10,000 top-quality Spirit Stones? In going, why don't you grab it? Long Chen was shocked. This is too dark. Saint King Pill, there are dozens of refining methods. Even if it is refined with the best precious medicine, the cost will not exceed 30 top-quality Spirit Stones. Half of the pill repairs succeeded once 3 times, and the cost was less than 100 Spirit Stones. According to the usual price of pills, selling 200 Spirit Stones was already a huge profit, but they sold them directly for 10,000, which was still a strong currency. Senior, if you can help me refine some Holy King Pills, I don't have to work hard to exchange them with them. Long Chen said to Qiankuan Cauldron. It's useless, their pills all have special imprints. Once they are discovered, it will be troublesome. Qiankuan Ding responded. Well, since I can't practice, I can only think of other ways. Long Chen has a lot of Spirit Stones in his hands, But he doesn't usually use them. When he left with Emon Yen last time, he basically left them to Guoran. After all, he wants to refine the tool, which consumes a lot of money. He can save it himself, but Guoran can't save it. Long Chen asked Buying Xue, and it turned out that the Bailong family had no idea about such things as spirit stones, while Feng Yu and Hu Xiaoyu, forget it, they were very poor and stable. Long Chen knew that only the transaction of Chaos Amethyst and Holy King Pill was accepted here, but it was a means of Brahma Pill Valley. How many people could have amethyst? Even if someone owns it, how can I get change if I use it to buy things? This is like buying white steamed buns with gold ingots. Who can find them? This is clearly forcing everyone to settle with medicinal pills. But it is impossible to have no money. Long Chen can only go to the exchange point to take a look. Suddenly, Long Chen's eyes lit up, and he can actually use the precious medicine to exchange the medicine pill. Beauty, wow, your skin is so good. Long Chen came to an exchange window and went up to praise the other person shamelessly. Although the woman is not bad, she is still a little far from the beauty, but her skin is smooth and tender. She has a little bit of this aspect. Confidence. Hearing that someone praised him, he immediately became elated, and the polite smile became much more sincere, especially seeing that Long Chen was actually a strong dragon. He suddenly became very polite. Thank you for your compliment. Is there anything I can do to help you? I'm very willing to serve you. I can't talk about service, mainly because I am relatively poor and don't have many spiritual stones, but I have some precious medicines in my hand. I don't know if I can exchange some medicine pills. Long Chen said. The woman saw that Long Chen's words were sincere, and a poor word could evoke the compassion of others. The woman said, of course, precious medicines can be exchanged for medicinal pills, but we decide the amount of the exchangeable medicinal pills based on the grade and rarity of the rare medicines, and those that are too low level cannot be exchanged. I don't know what precious medicine you have in your hand. Take it out and let the little girl help you to see what can be exchanged. Long Chen stretched out his hand to cover his mouth and whispered to the woman, well, I have a lot of precious medicines in my hand, but I don't quite understand their value. Do you have any detailed price list here? Give me a copy. I'll take a look for myself first, study my family background, and see if I can change some medicinal herbs. If I can't, I'll leave so as not to come up with some precious medicines that are worthless and be laughed at by others. I'm ashamed, to be honest, not too thick. The woman saw what Long Chen said was interesting and handed him a jade card directly, saying that this was the exchange table and let Long Chen study it by himself. Long Chen took it over, his divine sense penetrated into it, and immediately saw countless pictures of precious medicines and the corresponding medicinal pills. There are only dozens of precious medicines that can be exchanged, the least can be exchanged for a few, and the most can be exchanged for 3,000. Multiple. Long Chen was startled when he saw the number of medicinal pills at first, but when he looked closely at those precious medicines, Long Chen realized that these precious medicines for feelings are extremely rare, and they are almost invisible. To put it bluntly, there is no shortage of other precious medicines in Brahma Pill Valley. If they lack it, others are unlikely to have it. This so-called exchange is basically impossible. I don't know if Brahma Pill Valley is particularly lacking in these precious medicines. So the price is terribly high. I have jade bone and purple heart bamboo, I also have Qingquan Shuelingji, and I will go to the sun goddess. It is calculated in grains. One big sunflower can be exchanged for 3 holy king pills. Is it rare? Long Chen took a look. There are dozens of precious medicines above, and he has 4. Long Chen saw that the highest price is Qingquan Shuelingji. Of course, if a whole plate of sunflowers is exchanged, its price is the highest. Long Chen studied it and finally Qingquan Ding gave him an idea to exchange it with jade bones and purple heart bamboo. Several other precious medicines are too precious to give to Brahma Pill Valley, which is not worthwhile. Although a jade bone purple-hearted bamboo can only be exchanged for more than 500 holy king pills, Long Chen has a large bamboo forest. Dig a cluster and there are 7 or 8 plants. And the value of a cluster of jade bone purple-hearted bamboos is far higher than the value of one. Long Chen listened to Qingquan Ding and dug out a cluster of 8 bamboos in total. When the woman saw the jade bone purple-hearted bamboos startled, I thought I was dazzled. He hurriedly invited Long Chen into a single room alone. I have to say that Brahma Pill Valley did a good job in some aspects. The woman did not exchange it for him according to a single plant, but calculated it according to the whole cluster, which is higher than the price alone. At a lot. Originally it could only be sold for more than 4,000, but it turned out to be sold for 5,000. When she took out 5,000 St. King pills, even the hand of the Pill Valley female disciple trembled. Obviously, even she had never traded so much. Of St. Wang Dan. When Long Chen walked out of the exchange point, his walking posture was different, and there was a tendency to be arrogant. Looking at Bai Yingxue and Feng Yu, Long Chen waved his hand. "Let's go, brother will take you to arrogance." Chapter 5082. There are 5,000 holy king pills in Long Chen's bag, which is equivalent to 5 chaotic amethysts and 50 million top-quality chaotic spirit stones, and Long Chen suddenly has a feeling of becoming rich overnight. You must know that among the people he knew, Mo Nian was the richest. At that time, he only had a chaotic amethyst. The chaos amethyst is a necessary auxiliary treasure for the Earth Sage powerhouse to advance to the heavenly sage. The trace of the purple chi in it can make the advancement safe, fast, and pain-free. After advancing to heavenly sage, the primordial purple chi in chaos amethyst also has a powerful auxiliary effect. The difficulty of awakening the heavenly vessel with it and without it is completely different. Therefore, chaos amethyst is absolutely S treasure. And the medicine pill in Long Chen's hand can be exchanged with Dangu for chaos amethyst at any time. Similarly, if someone has chaos amethyst, they can also exchange medicine pill. With Brahma Pill Valley, a well-known signboard, anyone can buy it with confidence. Long Chen knows that after this exchange, the chaotic amethyst in most people's hands will flow into the hands of Brahma Pill Valley, and the elixir of Brahma Pill Valley will also take this opportunity to flow to the whole world in large quantities. It has to be said that there is an absolute monopoly. Is the easiest to make money. Bai Yingxue, Feng Fei and Hu Xiaoyu didn't know what happened to Long Chen at a loss. When they went there, Long Chen was still frowning. When he came back, he seemed to have a pole attached to his waist and began to sway sideways. With the money, Long Chen went to see those booths. When he walked into the first booth, Bai Yingxue's expression changed. On that booth, there were more than a dozen pieces of dragon crystals. The dragon crystals are the crystal cores in the dragon brains, the flesh and blood power of the dragon family. In the crystal. Therefore, Long Jing is the heritage of the dragon clan. If a strong person in the clan dies, they will save the dragon crystal and bring it back to the clan as soon as possible. And no matter what kind of enemy the dragon clan is fighting against, they will basically not touch their corpses, especially no matter how much hatred between the same clan, they will not desecrate each other's corpses. This is always taboo for the dragon clan. Seeing Long Jing now, Bai Yingxue was the first to be unbearable. Long Chen glanced at those Long Jing and found that the fluctuations were not strong, and they were not from the Bai Long family, so he pulled Bai Yingxue away. It's no wonder that there are so many Pill Valley powerhouses standing guard here, selling dragon crystals in front of the dragon clan. However, from a certain point of view, it is no wonder that they are not dragons, and those Longjings are extremely ancient at first glance, and they are not just killed. They only get it occasionally and exchange it for something they want. Nothing wrong with that. But having said that, there are some things only one who has experienced it will know how uncomfortable it is, but there is no Longjing of the Bai Long family here, which makes Bai Yingxue feel better. However, in front of the shop, there are already many dragon powerhouses with gloomy faces, with murderous eyes in their eyes, bargaining with the hall master. Obviously, there are dragon crystals of their family there, and they want to buy them back. And the other party dared to show it, naturally not afraid of the dragon clan asking for trouble, and the lion opened his mouth directly, which made the scene extremely tense, and even the strong people of the Dangu clan began to be on guard to prevent them from suddenly making a move. Long Chen took the 3 daughters forward and left the shop as soon as possible. As a result, when he passed another shop, Long Chen's heart moved, and Feng Yu was also slightly shocked. Phoenix marrow. In that person's booth, Long Chen saw a fist-sized piece of red amber, which Long Chen recognized at a glance as the legendary Phoenix marrow. The Phoenix marrow, simply understood as the bone marrow of the Phoenix clan, but it is not always the case. The Phoenix marrow that can be passed down in the world is all the Phoenix clan after the failure of Nirvana. The energy of life is collected into the bone marrow, and then burned by the fire of Nirvana, leaving behind the crystallization ability is called Phoenix marrow. After the Phoenix marrow was burned by the fire of Nirvana, many of them were directly burned out, and nothing would be left. Only those strong Phoenix powerhouses would leave the Phoenix marrow. But when you say this, there are some contradictions. Since you are strong, how can you fail Nirvana? But in fact, the success of Phoenix Nirvana depends on one aspect of strength, and on the other hand, it requires a certain element of luck. Therefore, the Phoenix marrow is more precious than the dragon crystal, because after each dragon dies, there will be a dragon crystal, but each piece of Phoenix marrow represents the fall of a powerful Phoenix, and the Phoenix marrow is left behind for a lifetime. Essence. And this piece of Phoenix marrow, with flame runes circulating all over its body, was amber in color, and it was still such a large piece. It was definitely the best of the best. At the beginning, Long Chen also planned to let Feng Yu and others pretend to be okay, continue to move forward, and see if they can fool the other party to pick up a leak. But looking at the shrewd face of the stall owner, and he had noticed Feng Yu's expression at this time, Long Chen knew that it was impossible to pick up leaks, so he simply walked over. "Senior, your Phoenix marrow is amazing. Can I take a look at it in my hand?" Long Chen asked. There are dozens of people in the shop, all of them are Shuangmai Tianxing, and the aura that Long Chen greeted is particularly strong. Judging from the posture, it should be the shop owner. Little friend's eyes are vicious. As the identity of the White Dragon family, how can you not believe it? Just look at it. The old man looked at Long Chen, and then at Feng Yu, and smiled slightly. Long Chen stretched out his hand and carefully picked up the Phoenix marrow. When Long Chen injected a trace of flame into the Phoenix marrow to test, the Phoenix marrow suddenly lit up, the flames erupted, and the fierceness rushed towards the face, and the violent power was about to be destroyed. Long Chen's hand bounced off. Buzz, the power of Long Chen's flames circulated, suppressing the explosive power, preventing it from spreading, so as not to hurt the surrounding people. When the Phoenix marrow burst into flames, Feng Yu's body trembled. She felt a powerful summoning, meaning the Phoenix marrow not only had endless power, but also had the will of the strong Phoenix clan. The pith is full of longing. She wanted to act calmer, otherwise she would only be slaughtered, but she really couldn't do it. Her flames erupted, and even the Phoenix blood in her body began to burn uncontrollably. When the Phoenix marrow broke out, the shopkeeper's expression changed slightly. He looked at Long Chen in disbelief and couldn't help exclaiming, "What a pure fire of the sun!" Long Chen didn't expect that the opposite was a strong man who was proficient in flames, because when Long Chen's flame power erupted, the flames in the old man's body were also aroused by powerful fluctuations. At that moment, Long Chen knew, don't miss it today. He was ready to be slaughtered and said, "Give me a real price." What Long Chen didn't expect was that the old man shook his head and said, "Sorry, this is not for sale." Hearing the old man's words, Feng Yu's expression suddenly changed. Chapter 5083. Long Chen's face has also changed. "Why don't you sell it? So why do you show it? Funny?" When the old man saw that Long Chen's face changed, he hurriedly said, "Don't be angry, Your Excellency, I said not to sell. I mean, it is not a last resort. I don't want to sell it." "I don't understand," Long Chen said. The old man said, "That is to say, I want to exchange it for something I need. Your Excellency can also see that I am also a fire cultivator. I know the value of this Phoenix marrow better than anyone else. It's just that this treasure has no relationship with me, and I can't refine it, so I plan to barter for a treasure that I can use. Of course, if I really can't exchange it, I can only sell it, but even if I sell it, I will save it for the last sale, and the price will be 3,000 Holy King pills." 3,000? Why don't you go grab it? Long Chen jumped up at once, although he knew that this person would speak loudly, But 3,000, isn't that bullshit? And Long Chen shouted. The voice was a little loud, and suddenly there were countless people looking at him, and they all looked here. They also wanted to know, what treasure is it, and dare to ask for such a high price. You must know that the powerhouses present have 300 Holy King pills in their pockets, and they are already considered rich. Most of the people have only a few dozen Holy King pills. When the shop owner saw that everyone else was looking over, he was a little embarrassed, and hurriedly said to Long Chen, I know, it's not worth that much money, but I've already put all the pressure on it to be able to advance to the 3 meridians in the future. On the body. Therefore, the price of 3,000 is obviously inflated, but I don't want to buy myself more time to see if I can get what I like. I definitely don't mean to play with you. Seeing Long Chen's gloomy face, the old man thought he was playing tricks, and quickly explained the problem. He also saw that Feng Yu was the most suitable for this piece of phoenix marrow, and knew that they sincerely wanted to buy it, but he was really reluctant to give it up. He wants to make a price first, let the other party retreat in spite of the difficulties, and then wait until the end of the trade fair. If he has not found the right thing, then bargain with Long Chen. Hearing the old man's explanation, and although the other person was shrewd, but the words were still true, Long Chen was no longer angry. Suddenly, Long Chen moved in his heart and looked at the old man. Your flame? It's also a wood fire. The so-called wood-based fire means that there are 2 kinds of energy in his body, one is the wood element and the other is the fire element. In fact, it is not uncommon for people to have both kinds of energy at the same time. But for most people, the wood element is the nourishing wood. The wood element energy of the wood element powerhouse is only suitable for healing and assisting people. Just like the medical warriors in the Dragon Blood Legion, their wood element cannot be compared with the power of flame blends together. Forcibly blends, either fire will dry the power of wood, or wood will suppress the fire. However, another kind of wood-type energy can be integrated with flame, such as dry wood and fire, and complement each other. Such a strong person, flame is a major, and wood-type is a minor. His source power is several times stronger than that of ordinary fire cultivators. The combat power is more powerful and durable. Yes, I just want to exchange this treasure. The old man hurriedly said. Long Chen grabbed the big hand in the air, and a flame stick appeared. This flame stick was not the one before Long Chen, but a 3rd-level wooden heart. Do you like this thing? Long Chen asked. This. Fusang. The old man was very excited. When he said the word Fusang, he hurriedly covered his mouth. His face was full of excitement, but he was frantically suppressing it. Long Chen said directly, You and I are both smart people, don't use those meaningless routines, I don't like bargaining and I don't like to care about one another. Can I take a look? The old man said. Without saying a word, Long Chen threw the long stick to him. The 3rd-level wooden heart was just the heart of the branch on the ancient Fusang tree. Taking it off would have no effect on the ancient Fusang tree. This 3rd-level wooden heart is nothing to Long Chen, but to outsiders, it is definitely a treasure. You must know that even the Jinwu family can't afford it, which shows how precious it is. Okay, you can take this phoenix marrow. After the old man looked at it carefully, he confirmed that it was correct, and immediately put Mu Xian away. The excited expression on his face could not be concealed at all. Long Chen nodded, handed the phoenix marrow to Feng Yu, and told the old man, You'd better hide your things, don't let the crows see. Thank you for your reminder. The old man said gratefully. In fact, he knew that he had taken advantage of the sky. The reason why I wanted to be calm before was to think that if I bargained with Long Chen, I would eventually be able to compensate Long Chen for something less. He can also see that Long Chen is also a very shrewd person, and it is difficult to deal with, but he did not expect Long Chen to be so generous, and he would exchange one for another. Feeling a little embarrassed too, he was very generous and let Bai Yingxue and Hu Xiaoyu in his shop pick any random thing as a gift, without money. Long Chen wanted to refuse, but he didn't expect this old man to be extremely stubborn, saying that they wanted them to choose one thing. The two had no choice but to choose 2 beautiful little things, and the old man let them go. Long Chen secretly praised that this old man had some tricks. He knew that they didn't like to take advantage, but he insisted on letting them take advantage. This was a means of attracting favor. With this foreshadowing, there will be more opportunities in the future to have a relationship with the White Dragon clan. He saw that Long Chen is in the fire of the sun, and he can take out the third-level wooden heart. He is definitely not an ordinary person. Now lay the foundation first, absolutely do not suffer. After Long Chen thanked the old man, he left with the three of them. After walking a certain distance, Feng Yu was too excited to speak. The phoenix blood in her body had already sensed the phoenix marrow through the air, and began to communicate. After the communication, she discovered that the owner of the phoenix marrow was a six-veined heavenly saint before his death. The old man wanted to refine it countless times, but the will of the phoenix marrow was immortal. He could not do as he wished, and he could not use force, otherwise it would destroy the phoenix marrow. Now it has truly waited for its owner. When she thought of the treasures left by the six-veined heavenly sage, Feng Yu was so excited that she wanted to cry. After refining this phoenix marrow, she would no longer be the Feng Yu she used to be. What she lost will definitely be taken back. Calm down, Long Chen comforted with a smile. Thank you. Feng Yu tried her best to calm herself down, but she still choked up with these three simple words. To her, this phoenix marrow was a treasure that changed her life against the sky. Be stronger, someone will bully me in the future and help me spank their ass. Long Chen laughed. Long Chen's words made Feng Yu burst into laughter. How powerful is Long Chen? When do you need her to come forward? But Long Chen's words filled Feng Yu's heart with warmth. Are you looking for death? Just when Long Chen and Feng Yu were joking, suddenly a roar came from the front, and Long Chen was stunned. Wow, it seems to be the idiot's voice from Minglong Wushang. Let's go and watch the excitement. Chapter 5084. When Long Chen and the four rushed to find the sound. In front of a huge booth, Minglong Wushang was leading a group of people and yelled at the booth owner. Long Chen looked at the situation and found that this huge booth was actually a combination of three booths, that is to say, the shop owner directly rented three shops. The shops here are very large, each one is 1,000 feet square, and the three are merged together to make it even wider. Now in the shop, dozens of Shuangmai Tianxing are looking at Minglong Wushang and others nervously. Although there are rules here to protect them, they are still afraid that the scene will get out of control. Long Chen took a look at the booth. It didn't matter. When he saw the situation clearly, his heartbeat instantly accelerated. There are three black dragon corpses lying on a crystal chopping board, because the chopping board is a magic tool, which can make huge things shrink. The black dragon seems to be only 3 feet long, but if it is released, the whole square can't let them go. The most terrifying thing is that the scales of one of the giant dragons on the black dragon have 6 patterns. That is to say, it was a 6-veined heavenly saint before his death. The dragon corpse of the 6-veined heavenly saint level, even if there is a barrier on the chopping board, the terrifying coercion still makes the soul tremble and dare not look directly. The other 2 dragon corpses were also Wumai Tianxing powerhouses before their death. When he saw these 3 dragon corpses, Long Chen's heart skipped a beat. Although these 3 dragon corpses have gone through countless years, they are extremely well preserved. In terms of dust, it is simply a big baby. It's just that the dragon head of the dragon corpse has been split, Long Jing has been taken away, the dragon horn has been cut off, and the reverse scales have also been pulled out. Long Chen looked at the other chopping board, and it turned out that Long Jing, Long Jiao, dragon the scales were taken out and placed separately. Apparently, they were to be sold separately. Bastard, you have blasphemed the ancestors of my Minglong clan, and you are asking for a price. Are you not afraid of our Minglong clan's revenge? Minglong Wushang roared angrily, and the powerful Minglong clan beside him also gritted their teeth and wanted to the appearance of swallowing life alive. You heroes of the Minglong family, we are doing business, we sell goods, and we also want to eat. We can understand your feelings, but we didn't kill these 3 seniors of the Minglong clan, we bought them. And over the years, we have been meticulously maintained. In order to prevent it from losing its divinity, we have spent countless human and material resources. You want to invite the 3 seniors back, which is understandable, But we also want to make money, you can't let us lose money. An old man in the shop said earnestly. Obviously, their conflict is not the event itself, but that the price has not been negotiated. Cut, no money, is it interesting to threaten others? At this time, Long Chen stood up. If he didn't step on this guy at this time, he would not be called Long Chen. As soon as Long Chen's sarcastic words came out, the powerhouses of the Minglong family were furious, especially when they saw that the person who spoke was Long Chen. I don't have anything to do with you here, hurry up. Minglong Wushang shouted coldly. It's you who should be rolling, what kind of big-tailed wolf are you putting on here without money? Long Chen swaggered forward, looked at the dragon crystal, dragon horns, and dragon scales on the booth, and then pointed to the 3 dragon corpses. Road, boss, how much is your meat per pound? The old man in charge hurriedly said, sorry, our dragon corpses are sold as a whole, not by the pound. This can't be done. If you can't finish the meal, won't it stink? Long Chen said. As soon as Long Chen's words came out, the faces of the powerhouses of the Minglong family suddenly turned black. Their faces were not white at first, but now they are as black as the bottom of the pot. Feng Yu and Hu Xiaoyu almost didn't laugh. Long Chen asked about the price by selling pork. In this way, the humiliation was extreme. Bastard, I killed you. Minglong Wushang roared and was about to rush forward, but the people around him were pulling him desperately. It was really impossible to do anything here. There were so many strong people in the Brahma Pill Valley watching, even if the Minglong family and the Brahma Pill were watching. Gus' relationship is good, but they can't break the rules of Brahma Pill Valley like this. In fact, Minglong Wushang didn't even think about making a move. He put on this posture to scare people. If he really wanted to make a move, those people couldn't hold him at all. Long Chen didn't even look at Minglong Wushang, pointed at the 6-vein Tianxing level Minglong corpse and said, how to sell this big one? This 800 Holy King pills, the old man said. Why is it so expensive? Who can afford this? Long Chen pretended to be surprised. You're joking. This Dragon Clan senior was a 6-veined heavenly sage before his death, and there are countless treasures to be excavated on his corpse. This price is already very fair and reasonable. The old man hurriedly said. What about the 2 little ones? Long Chen asked. Small. Cough, the price of these 2 5-vein heavenly sages is 300 Sage King pill. The old man said. 2 together for 300, or 1 for 300? Long Chen continued to ask. Of course it's 1 300. Long Chen pondered for a while and said, 2 small ones are not too expensive, but it is not enough for a pot, so, 3 together, you give me a real price. Let me tell you, I want to buy it sincerely. I was injured by an old man just now. I am very weak. I want to get something to go back to make up. Feng Yu and others all know that Long Chen was suppressed by the domain lord and was injured. Although they don't know what Lao Deng means, they don't think it is a good word. Long Chen is scolding the domain lord. Bai Yingxue didn't know why Long Chen wanted these dragon corpses, and thought that Long Chen was deliberately playing with Minglong Wushang and others. After all, they were enemies, and Long Chen would never be merciful towards enemies. Seeing Long Chen talking to the old man, it was like buying fish from the vegetable market. Minglong Wushang was so angry that his teeth were going to be clenched, but he didn't dare to do it here. Dragon crystals, dragon scales, and dragon horns are very important to them. The old man gritted his teeth and said, since you sincerely want to buy it, you can give the original price of 1,400 Holy King pills to 1,350. 500, Long Chen stretched out a big hand and shook it. The old man almost vomited blood. The price was too harsh, he was about to refuse, but Long Chen said to him, after I take away the dragon corpse, your dragon crystals, dragon horns and dragon scales will only be sold at the original price. If I leave, you will not only be unable to sell anything, but you will also be hunted down by the Minglong family. Do you believe it? As a result, the old man's complexion changed, and finally, in the eyes of countless people, he sold the 3 dragon corpses to Long Chen at the price of 500 Holy King pills. Long Chen picked up the whole shop, deliberately showed it off in front of Minglong Tianzhao and others, and put it in the chaotic space, then laughed so arrogantly, and left with Feng Yu and others, leaving his eyes behind. The underworld dragon, which is almost about to breathe fire, is inexorable. Chapter 5085. Long Chen walked away. Ming Long Wushang and others were so popular that their eyes were blue, and finally they gritted their teeth and walked to the booth. With cannibalistic eyes, they bargained again and bought the dragon crystal, dragon scales and dragon horns. Long Chen, what did you say to that person? How could he sell it to you at such a low price? Feng Yu had changed his previous depression, regained his confidence, and became more lively. Long Chen smiled and said, I told that person that what they have in their hands is a hot potato, and it is very dangerous to be targeted by the narrow-minded Minglong clan. Unless your relationship with the Brahma Pill Valley is very strong, you don't want to leave the Cold Sky territory, but if you sell the dragon corpse to me, Minglong Wushang will be anxious. He is afraid that other things will be bought one by one, and it will be extremely difficult to retrieve them at that time. Moreover, the Minglong family is very good-looking, they can't bargain down, and they just run wild, most likely because the money is really not enough. They either don't buy it or they buy it all. It is impossible to buy only dragon crystal, dragon horn and dragon scale, and throw away the dragon corpse. The Minglong family can't afford to lose that person. But the dragon corpse was bought, their pressure was greatly reduced, the money should be enough to buy other things, and then, the old man gave it to me. How do you know that their money is just enough to buy other things? Hu Xiaoyu asked in confusion. Silly girl, they were bargaining before, and the Minglong family must have offered a price that the other party is not very satisfied with. The old man sold the dragon corpse to me, and the rest should be close to the price of the Minglong clan before, otherwise the gap is too large, and he will not sell it to me. In fact, I can also see the fear in their eyes. They are very afraid of the Minglong family, and they want to get rid of this hot potato as soon as possible. Once they are dealt with, they don't have to worry about being hunted down by the Minglong clan, and because of my reasons, the anger of the Minglong clan has been sucked away, and he is safe. Long Chen said. The three of them suddenly realized that it is no wonder that Long Chen could buy 3 dragon corpses at such an outrageous price. There are too many twists and turns in the feelings. You are really amazing, you can understand people's hearts so thoroughly. Bai Yingxue praised, this kind of ability can't be learned by killing her. Hu Xiaoyu and Feng Yu are used to it, because Long Chen has always been so powerful. When they met Long Chen here, they seemed to have found the backbone at once, and they were extremely happy. They are not worried about the Roan Beast clan. The Roan Beast clan is just a small clan. Now they are backed by the White Dragon clan, and the Roan Beast clan does not dare to do anything to others. The most important thing is that Feng Yu has already obtained the Phoenix Marrow, and when she goes back, she absorbs it, and then in the Heavenly Fire Demon realm, with the help of the baptism of Heavenly Fire and Heavenly Tribulation, she can fully integrate with it. At that time, she could be destroyed with a wave of her hand. Melting Beast Alliance, are they afraid of what kind of moth they will do? The 4 of them walked all the way along the store, not letting go of each store. Long Chen was trying to find some exotic treasures. After all, here, countless things that are not visible can be sold. There are too many good things. However, Long Chen found that the people here are too refined and the things are good, but all of them are ridiculously expensive. Even if Long Chen is rich and powerful, he feels that the price is a bit exaggerated. After walking more than a dozen shops along the way, Long Chen saw a few things, including precious divine materials, immortal gold, rune bones, and ancient scrolls. Unfortunately, the price was too uncomfortable, and Long Chen left directly. However, when she walked past a shop, Hu Xiaoyu's delicate body was shocked. She saw a fox bone shining brightly, and strange waves were calling her. How could Long Chen not know what was going on, and directly bought the spirit fox bone at the price of 500 holy king pills. Although Long Chen knew that this fox bone was not worth the price, it was obviously slaughtered, but there was no way. The weakness of Hu Xiaoyu was seen through. Long Chen had lost the room for bargaining, and Long Chen did not so much time to spend with him, directly win. Hu Xiaoyu hugged the spirit fox bone and couldn't speak for a long time. Her cute appearance was distressing. After Long Chen rubbed her little head and comforted her, she continued to move forward with everyone. Soon, Long Chen found that in front of a shop, countless people gathered and pointed at the shop. Long Chen squeezed with everyone and found that the shop was crowded with people, but no one stepped forward, and there was no one in the shop to greet him. Only an old man sat in the center of the shop, closing his eyes and resting. In other shops, all kinds of treasures are piled up like mountains and full, but this place is extremely empty. In the huge shop, there are only 3 things: a tripod, a painting, and a halberd. When Long Chen saw the cauldron clearly, he couldn't help exclaiming, "Isn't that the Qiankuan cauldron?" Long Chen was simply stunned. That cauldron is exactly the same as the Qiankuan cauldron. It is not bad at all, and the atmosphere is simple. With the vicissitudes of the years, it is not an ordinary imitation at first glance, and on its body, Long Chen feels the vast medicinal power fluctuations. That is to say, this cauldron has been refining medicinal pills, and it is the kind that has been refining for a long time. "Senior, what's the situation?" Long Chen hurriedly said to Qiankuan cauldron. However, Qiankuan Ding did not answer him, and Long Chen found that Qiankuan Ding's attention was all on the picture and the halberd. "Senior, what are the names of these 3 treasures?" Finally, someone in the crowd couldn't help asking. The strong people present found the extraordinary things about these 3 things, but they didn't know them. Some people seemed to see the way, but they didn't say a word and just watched quietly. If you don't recognize them, it means that these treasures have nothing to do with you. Because it is too involved, it is better not to inquire. The old man did not lift his head or open his eyes, and said indifferently, "What are you kidding? How do we know what it is if you don't introduce it? You have 3,000 Holy King pills marked on each one. Are you just waiting for someone with a lot of money to take the bait?" The man said angrily. Hearing the man's anger, the old man was indifferent, still closing his eyes and resting. Seeing that Qiankuan Ding seemed to be in a trance, Long Chen moved his eyes away from the Qiankuan Ding in front of him and turned his head to look at the god map. When he saw the god map, Long Chen's body was shocked, and the god map was chaotic, like a child's graffiti, but in the chaos, Long Chen saw the scene of 9 stars embracing a giant star. Long Chen has seen this scene before. He once saw this scene with the eyes of the dragon powerhouse, and he also saw it in the ruins mural, but on this picture, Long Chen saw it again. On the god map, the runes are crisscrossed, as if hundreds of millions of pictures are superimposed together, so it is so messy. After watching it for a while, Long Chen suddenly felt dizzy and had a feeling that his soul was going to be confused. "What is that?" Long Chen was shocked. The voice of Qiankuan Ding came, "One of the 10 great chaos artifacts, the map of the 10 realms." Chapter 5086, 10 Realms. These 3 words sounded like mad thunder in Long Chen's mind, causing Long Chen to feel dizzy. Although Long Chen heard this name for the first time, when these 3 words appeared in his mind, it seemed to be contaminated with some kind of cause and effect, and the feeling was awe-inspiring. "It's the same generation as you." Long Chen couldn't believe it. Seeing them, I remembered some memories. Qiankuan Ding's voice became deep and distant. Long Chen looked at the war halberd, and the countless divine patterns on the war halberd had already dimmed, but looking at the divine patterns, it still made the soul tremble. The halberd had a dark golden texture around it, but the halberd blade was pitch black as ink. When Long Chen saw the tip of the halberd, his heart skipped a beat, and a picture of a dagger suddenly appeared in his mind. This? At that moment, Long Chen could hardly believe his eyes. He was shocked to discover that the mysterious dagger he accidentally obtained was exactly the same as the tip of the halberd. That is also one of the top 10 chaotic artifacts, the Great Desolate Halberd, Qiankuan Ding said. Then the dagger I got. Long Chen's heart was beating wildly. That's right, it's its broken blade. Now you should know why that dagger is so good. Qiankuan Ding said. I'm going. Long Chen never thought that the mysterious dagger turned out to be the remnant blade of the Great Desolate Halberd. No wonder it was stabbed on the Qiankuan cauldron without any signs of damage. Perhaps it could only be achieved if it was the same as one of the top 10 chaotic artifacts. Long Chen never dreamed that he had occupied 2 of the top 10 chaotic artifacts. Later, he gave the dagger to Dong Minjiu, and that dagger became the most terrifying killer in Dong Minjiu's hands. The Qingquan Cauldron, the 10 Realms map, and the Great Desolate Halberd. Long Chen suddenly knew 2 chaos artifacts today, and his eyes were full of shock. They are all imitations, also known as subwares. They were created by divine craftsmen in the ancient times. Unfortunately, their artifact spirits have all died out. Otherwise, they will return to their peak state, and they will also exist at the level of human emperor artifacts. Qingquan Ding said, the artifact is dead? Long Chen was suddenly disappointed. Although it was 3 imitations, the breath was really scary. However, if it wasn't for the death of the artifact, it probably wouldn't have been placed here. This little friend, do you recognize these 3 treasures? The old man suddenly opened his eyes and looked at Long Chen, a little surprised. Although he closed his eyes, he knew all about the situation around him very well. When he saw Long Chen's disbelief when he saw the 3 artifacts at first, his regrets were all taken into his eyes. Long Chen nodded and said, "It's a pity, it's a pity." The nod of Long Chen made countless arrogances at the scene look at him. Most of the 3 artifacts have never been seen before. They are all attracted by their terrifying aura, and they are comparing with the magic weapons in memory. And some people who have a long history of knowledge can only recognize one of them. And Long Chen knew all 3 things, which shocked everyone, and the old man stood up and said, "It seems that your excellency is the destined person I've been waiting for. You can choose one of these 3 magical weapons, and I will give you the best price, 3,000 Holy Spirit pills." As soon as the old man's voice fell, the strong people present exclaimed. They were not shocked by the magic weapons but by the price. Wait for a while and make it clear first, are you waiting for someone with fate or someone with money? Long Chen said angrily. As soon as Long Chen said this, many people laughed out loud. They also felt that the old man was a little tricky, and took out some weapons of unknown origin to find people who were destined. This is clearly a liar's routine. The old man said with a serious face, "Of course it's someone who is destined. Take it down, no matter how strong they are imitations and the spirits are dead. Tell me, who has the ability to reinvigorate them? With the ability to enlighten the spirit, why not build a new magic weapon? Why spend a long time, consuming endless energy and effort, to wait for the growth of the new artifact? If someone does this, how much water does it take to their brains?" Long Chen said angrily, No, you believe me, these artifact spirits are definitely not dead, they are just in nirvana, waiting for a new owner to appear." The old man hurriedly said, No, you still believe me, these artifact spirits are definitely dead. If one is not dead, I will cut off my head and give it to you. Long Chen said firmly. When Long Chen said this, the old man's face became ugly, and his previous enthusiasm was gone, and he said coldly, "You're young, you're still young, what do you know? Don't talk nonsense so as not to be contaminated with cause and effect." In a hurry, this guy is in a hurry, the strong people present laughed, and the old man was like a liar, who was exposed to the trick and began to become angry. "Buy that cauldron, will be useful." Qingquan Cauldron said to Long Chen. Long Chen was stunned, the artifact was dead, why did he buy it? However, what Qingquan Ding said must have its deep meaning, and at this time, the old man's face was gloomy, and he was about to drive people away. Long Chen said, "I'm afraid of being contaminated by cause and effect, so I want to appear here, let's not do so many routines, and let's not have any predestined people, rich people." These 3 imitations, although the artifact spirit is dead, still have the opportunity to re-inject the spirit, so the value is still amazing. But the 3,000 Holy Spirit pills is a bit too exaggerated. You give a real price. If it is suitable, I will choose one. If it is not suitable, I may not be the destined person they are waiting for. When the powerhouses heard Long Chen's words, they couldn't help being surprised. This guy really wanted to buy it. You must know that if you recast this ancient artifact, It would be 10 times more difficult to recreate a magic weapon. Times more than ah. The old man was full of anger, but when he heard what Long Chen said, his heart suddenly moved, and then Long Chen said, "My friend, everyone is on the road. It's almost enough. I'll open it up for you. The road below you will be better paved, right?" The old man was stunned. In fact, he knew that these 3 imitations were already scraps, but he still wanted to pack them and flick them out, but he didn't expect that they would be seen through. The old man gritted his teeth and said, "The minimum is 2,000. It's not true, you gave me such a high price, how can I make a move? There is a high probability that I will smash my hand." Long Chen said, 1,018, the lowest, otherwise forget it. When I took over, the price was very high. The old man said, 500, plus I'll help you with the support. Long Chen smiled. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.